Live 25, local fresh footy, round one of the Bendigo Football League. We're here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Myself, Cam Powell, Wayne Mitrovic, John Hunter is your broadcast team for this afternoon's game here in what promises to be an absolute cracker. And if the reserves contest that we've been keeping an eye out here is to show, the senior game will be a pearler as well. Sandhurst 5-10-40, trailing Castlemaine by 7.75-47. In the under-18 Sandhurst, they were 56-point victors over Castlemaine. But now, before we touch on this game and really get into the matchups and what we're expecting from both these sides, we've been very lucky to be joined up here by the new general manager of Bendigo footy for season 2025, Tom King. Good afternoon to you, Tom. We had you on late last year when you were transitioning into the role. Now you've taken over the role. How are you going? How are you finding it? And what are you most looking forward to, especially today?
Thanks for having me, Cam. Yeah, look, it's been a long pre-season. To be honest, I'm just keen to see the action start. Lots of talk and preparation and planning, and yeah, it's game day today, and it's great to see the sun shining, albeit maybe a touch warm, but yeah, it's great to have it underway.
So you've taken over from Cam Tomlinson, who'd been in that role for quite a number of years. I've seen him floating around a little bit. Is he still helping you a lot in the transition, or...?
Yeah, he's still in the office. He's the region general manager for AFL Central Vic, so still have a lot to do with Cam. He's been a priceless help, really. Have that resource there for me as I transition into the role. Yeah, still learning a lot from him, but I think over the course of the off-season, I think I've really settled him well. Got great relationships with all the clubs, and really looking forward to the season. In terms of starting off the contest for this year, Bendigo footy's starting off with an absolute bang. You've got a ripping game here today, and then next week Easter footy, and then we've got Good Friday. So the Good Friday game this year, you've got a standalone game here on the Friday night, and that is between that's Eagle Hawk and South Bendigo. So that's something you can really start the season off with an absolute bang. Yeah, absolutely. I think today, 4 great contests. I think there's a lot of unknowns across the whole competition. So to have round one under 30-degree weather is great. And then next week, I think next week will be the biggest round of the year from a league point of view. 4 matches on Good Friday, 2 in Bendigo, 2 out of Bendigo. It sets up to be a fantastic day for the league and all the clubs that are hosting. And then, yeah, like you said, I think you mentioned Easter, Good Friday, but it's actually Anzac Day.
Oh, Anzac Day, sorry.
Yeah, so Anzac Day, South Bendigo have shown great initiative to partner with the Bendigo RSL and move their match from Harry Trott to the QEO so it can be played under lights. Eagle Hawk have been great in that process as well. Avhab, the city, is great at Bendigo as well. That'll be a huge match, only show in town. And as Good Friday, BFNL is the only league in play. So I think the next 2 weekends are going to be huge for the league.
I'm expecting a pretty big crowd for that night game as well. So the idea to get it to move to a night time slot as opposed to the regular 2:20 time slot, how did that come about?
Well, obviously on Anzac Day, clubs can't charge until after 1 p.m. And given the partnership with the RSL, they were keen to I guess make as much out of it as they can, and then contribute some of that back to the RSL. And Harry Trott's lights aren't up to scratch for night footy, so it was a no-brainer to move it here. As I said, the council were great in that process. It's not as simple as saying, yeah, we're going to move it. So yeah, we're very happy to have been accommodated, and it's going to be a fantastic match.
G'day, Tom. How are you, mate?
Doing well.
Pleasure to have you up here. Thanks for your time. Now, we mentioned that Anzac Day and the push there with the games to really showcase Bendigo football as a major league in the region. I felt like in the last few years we've probably missed pushing the club as a major league forward and playing on those days. Now, I think as players you need to sacrifice some of your personal time if you want to play good football and play on them days. Are you going to have a direction going forward to showcase Bendigo as a major league on more days like that?
Yeah, I think the Good Friday, obviously it's helpful that we're the only league that want to play on that day this year, and we put it to clubs saying we want to play over Easter, we need to play over Easter. What day do you want to play? In clubs, it was a resounding yes to Good Friday only, and then with the Anzac Day, obviously we're at the mercy of where where Anzac Day falls. I don't think you're going to be seeing a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday BFNL Anzac match. But for the next 3 years, given Anzac Day is going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that helps us a lot. And haven't looked past this year, but we'll definitely be making Good Friday and Anzac Day our own for the next few years, I think.
So for the people listening, they don't probably realise all the work behind the scenes that has to go on at Clubland and everyone administrating that. If you want to do that and push that narrative, how much say or balance is there from the league saying we want you as clubs to do this, and the clubs saying, well, we would love to or we would prefer not to? Who gets that say?
The clubs own it. Like Good Friday is a great example. We would have been open to Easter Sunday, Easter Saturday, whatever they wanted, but it has to be led by the clubs. We can put it to them, but ultimately we have the final say as a league, but also they need to be on board. We're not going to alienate them by putting them on a day that they're not happy with.
Yep.
I think, Good Friday's a great example of that. It still gives their volunteers, players, a chance to get away. They've still got a long weekend after Good Friday, I think it's a great opportunity for the clubs to have a really good day. Hopefully the sun's shining for that day as well.
Now, we've obviously touched on a lot of positives in season 2025. In terms of any stuff that you think the league can really look to improve on, we're obviously looking at the competition dropping back from 9 to 8 teams this year. So what plans are you rolling to obviously encourage and increase the standard of Bendigo footy? In not just this season, but in coming seasons.
The BFNL board have been really clear that 10 clubs is where we want to be. Obviously 8 is not 10, and given 8, the fixture has some inequalities this year which are less than ideal. I think Broadford's pretty well known. They are affiliated with the BFNL now, and while they remain in recess for 25, they're full steam ahead to 26 entry with a full complement of teams, so that's a really good one. And there's always discussions and rumours about other clubs that are considering. It's not much point talking about it now. Like, there's still it's round 1. There's a lot of time, a lot of water to go under the bridge with that. But we're really hopeful that by the time we reach, let's say, finals time this year and then into the off season, that the league is going to be back up to 9 and 10, and it'll set up for a big 2026.
So we've got Sandhurst today unfurling the flag, Tom. So the good thing for Bendigo footy this year is there's probably 7 teams out of the 8 that genuinely think they're a red-hot chance of having a chance at winning the premiership, or let alone at least making the finals as well. So that's probably not been something that Bendigo footy has had for a period of time, where you've got 3 games, sometimes even 4, where they're all going to be good games of footy, because in previous years you've probably had a bit of a gap from those bottom 3 sides up to the top few. So that must be something you guys are really looking forward to this year.
It makes for exciting competition. That's been a lot of the chats I've had with coaches and committee members. Is it's going to be super even for the whole season. Castlemaine and South have done a lot of a power of work to recruit the players they have. Sandhurst, Gisborne and Strath are always going to be around the mark, and I think the 2 real unknowns are Square and Eaglehawk. I've left flat out there, but I don't want to dismiss the work they're doing. They're doing a lot of hard work from the foundations to really set up their future, and I would not be at all surprised if they have 1 or 2 upsets this season, and that sets them up well for the future.
I think that's the thing that we were really talking about before. Eaglehawk and Golden Square being real unknowns is something that's quite strange for us here in the Bendigo Footy League, because they've been such powerhouse clubs for such long periods of time. And not saying they're going to drop off the perch and not play finals or anything like that, but just the unknown around those 2 clubs is something that's quite a strange feeling for me.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been around the mark forever and a day, and we I'm not dismissing they're not going to be around the mark this year, but there's a lot of unknowns this year, and it just sets up for an exciting season.
And talking of those unknowns, I don't know if you're just watching out the window, but the reserves game just finished up before, and Castlemaine won out 7-point victors. And the way the bench ran out on the ground, you think they must have won a final or something, because they were pretty pumped. That's really good scenes to see for a club that's like Castlemaine. And there's no secret that the Bendigo League is stronger when these out-of-town clubs are up and about.
I think if you had have said at the end of last year that Castlemaine are going to knock off the reigning premiers in the reserves, I reckon there would have been a few surprise people. So it's great for the league. We love equality, and hopefully we have 16 rounds like that this year.
to be here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Majestic day for football. I've just come from Kangaroo Flat. I had an anointing at an aged care home, so delighted to be here though in time for the opening bounce, and the conditions are spectacular. Obviously it's close to 30 degrees today, the forecast tops, so fluids will be really important for both sides. It's 6 years since I've seen the Bendigo Football League, so really excited to see obviously Sandhurst, which has been a side up and about for a long time, and Castlemaine obviously big improvers in the Bendigo Football League.
So you'll be down there for the toss of the coin and down there on the boundary for all the joys down there. Sandhurst have just unveiled their flag down there, so I noticed you were putting plenty of sunscreen on down there. You might need some more of that across the day because there's not a cloud in the sky and the sun is shining.
Yeah, I've slip-slop-slapped, that's for sure. So I had 2 hats too ready to go, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'll take the water down with me as well. So I'll get down for the coin toss. So
looking forward to having Jackson Saunders joining us today down on the boundary, bringing us some insights from down on the boundary line, John Hunter, which really adds to the broadcast when you're able to have that perspective from down there in terms of injuries and all that stuff. So really excited to have Jackson Saunders down on the boundary with us. But right now we're going to really march into this game. The flags have been unveiled, the players are both out warming up, and this is promising to be a really good game of footy. I came here today thinking Sandhurst will probably be the side that I'm expecting to win, but looking at some of these Castlemaine players out there warming up and the size of a couple of these boys like Patrick Bolter, he looks like he could be someone that could cause some massive issues for Sandhurst. But my other thought process is, being the QEO, I reckon the fitness levels might come into this one today. And looking at that, Sandhurst are well known for the way that they're able to be fit and run. So that might play a big factor in today as well with the weather. So I'm really not sure on how to go in this game. How do you see it playing out?
I see it playing out is that they're a really tall, they're a really big side, and they need to play to the strengths of being a hot day on the QEO. So they have got some decent runners. I like to see Philo come back into the side. He was injured a lot last year, Mitro, but using Bailey Henderson and him and the likes of him coming through the middle, they'd be crazy not to play to their strength, which is going to be obviously a strength. They're just big, so perfect conditions, there's no excuse.
Yeah, definitely. That warm weather, ball use is going to be so important today. The team that uses the ball the best and keeps it in possession is going to give themselves a great advantage. Midfield clearances, we see it with the big boys on TV when we watch. Centre clearance work is going to be huge, and Castlemaine have got some real size about the mids this year. Philo's not tall, but he is a strong, hardened player. Chuck him in there with Henderson and the likes, and we've spoken about the size of Patrick Bolter. We're really excited to see what they can bring to the QEO today.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Jackson Saunders down on ground level. The toss of the coin's just been won down there. Who's kicking which way?
So Cooper Smith from Sandhurst has won the toss, and he's going to kick the Dragons to the city end in this opening term. Slight breeze favouring that end. Perhaps a couple of goals behind it, as you mentioned, Cameron. Not a cloud in the sky. The Sandhurst Dragons are huddled together at the moment at the city end, exchanging final words, and the Castlemaine Magpies have broken and are dispersing to their various positions.
Now, Jacko, tell me, are you going to bat or bowl out there? What's the wicket like? Is it hard or soft?
Well,
I know the answer.
About 6 weeks ago, I was running around the QEO, and it was a beautiful pitch. So, yes, it does feel a bit more like cricket season than footy, albeit the second weekend of April.
And who are you tipping today, Jacko?
The Sandhurst Dragons, home ground advantage, great side. I think they'll win by 3 goals with their experience.
Yes, well, I'm going to go, I can't go past the fact how good Sandhurst are. Seriously, they're premiers. I think they'll win. I think Castlemaine will be super competitive. And you know what? It's a win-win for me, Metro, because if Castlemaine win, they'll just say, you weren't biased at all.
I know exactly what you're doing here, and I'm not buying it for one bit. Right. I'm going to be listening to this call and see how you go. But no, for me, it'll be the Dragons until proven otherwise. They got the runs on the board. We just want to see what sort of improvement that Castlemaine are going to bring.
Just about to get things underway here at the QEO for round 1. Umpire Jeff Williamson. He's got the honours. I'm not sure if he'll bounce it, Cam, but I reckon he'll throw it in the air. But 500 games. Castlemaine versus Sandhurst in the Bendigo Football League. Live 25, local fresh footy. Here's Cam Power.
532 game umpire breaking the record. Jeff Williamson throws it up. Collins gets the first hit out down for Sandhurst. It's picked up by the Dragons. they'll send it up towards forward 50. It bounces off the chest of Wilkinson. He's able to recover it. Handball backwards, then goes to Pinniger. Pinniger sends it inside, and it'll be chopped off. Good defensive mark for the Magpies there. Will be taken by Liam Wilkinson.
Wilkinson, he saddled up again this year. He was thinking about retiring. I spoke to him at the end of pre-season in his mid-30s, but he can just see the Magpies might have something going on. But a kick went to a contest. Big punch from Pinniger of Sandhurst. Put it over the boundary line and 50 metres out from goal. Sandhurst in attack. No score on the board. We've gone 40 seconds. Live 25. Local fresh footy.
One senior game in 2024 for Will Pinniger. He gets his chance today at the start of the season. He's already been involved twice in the first 45 seconds. Collins wins the first double hit down. Taken by Castlemaine under all sorts of pressure. Philo gets it. He handballs out. Strong tackling pressure there by Coughlin is good. And it will be a ball up. Umpire Williamson crosses his arms right on the paint of 50. Ryan Eyre in there. Of course, our rising star winner from last year in Bendigo footy gets his brother Josh Eyre into the side as well, which is exciting for Castlemaine. Philo hard up against the ball, and he's taken in its hard-due tackle. And I'll hand this one over to you, Johnny, because there's a marquee in my way, being able to see where this ball is right in the pocket.
Umpire Williamson, the Sandhurst Dragons, putting on a show today off the field as well. Magnificent conditions. Big Bolter wins the tap for the Magpies. It's in the forward zone for the Dragons. We'll see it go over the boundary line and another throw in. So a little bit of a lacklustre start there, Metro.
Now, I didn't see much. Did Wilkinson play last year?
He did, yes. He did, yeah. He's a good, strong centre half back for Castlemaine. Up they'll go in the ruck. Bolter front position, but coming from the back there was Schmetzer for the Dragons. But Castlemaine will release through Ryan Eyre, but he fumbled the footy. So Sandhurst are still in it now inside their forward 50. Castlemaine with a footy, handball to the back door. It goes to Cal McConaughey, gets it on the boot. Good tap it was by the tall player coming into the side. That was Marks. The ball socket along the ground. They move it forward, the Magpies, and it will go over the boundary line, 50 metres out. It's on the broadcast side going to the Barnard Street end.
Cal Huntley chasing the ball hard down the wing there. Very experienced player. Be interested to see how he goes this year.
So it'll be thrown in right on the paint of 50. Barnard straight in. Coughlin in there couldn't get it. Collins gets it. He dribbles a little kick out wide. Taken by Wilkinson. He's got some space. It's a little bit of an inside-out torpedo up towards the top of the 50. Brody Byrne will be back there. He lets it bounce for Wilkinson to collect. Wilkinson was composed and he sends the short pass to Hartley. Hartley marks in front of Lockie Hood. He then wheels into the middle of the ground. Kick was not great though. Turned over by Coughlin. Coughlin handballs off to the runner there of Morris. Inside forward 50 they go. Oh, Hartley comes through and hits the pack hard. Castlemaine player in front was collected. And Semmons will receive a free kick. Looked like Hartley was doing the big hit there, but it's a free kick to Semmons. Nonetheless, he clears it across to Wilkinson.
Wilkinson goes short, finds John Watson in the back half for the Magpies. Hard up against the boundary line, swimming pool side. John Watson, 50-metre ball down the line. Up they'll go, they'll set themselves. Dragons mark. It's a good, strong, contested mark on the outer side. Bring it back the other way, it'd be right. Lockie right now. Kicks it from whence it came. Big, long, big punch here came from behind from Hartley. Philo pounced on the ball. Coughlin pounced on him. It'll be a ball up, across half forward. Sandhurst in attack. No score on the board. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Almost a new recruit for them, Philo, after missing a large percentage of last year, and he started well. Castlemaine worked the ball forward, and coming back and taking the mark will be Connick. Or was it Wright? Those two definitely look alike. He sends it into the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous kick, but it works out to Morris. Morris was strong above his head. It's a nice looking pass into Fergus Green, and that's exactly what Sandhurst will like. Fergus Green hard out on a lead, and he's able to take the mark on the chest. It was a beautiful kick coming in there from young Oliver Morris.
Well, Fergus grabbed front position there, and if you notice, he's not walking that well because he actually had a low corky in one of his calves leading into this game, and he doesn't look like he's walking great, but we know at corkies it's not going to cause any further damage. This might impede him as the game goes on.
He actually had ice on that low calf pre-game, which I thought was quite interesting, but Fergus Green, the Ron Best medal winner from last year, comes in on the right, and it looks like no worries. He's put it straight through the middle from 30 metres out, slightly to the right of goals, and it's the first score of the season for Sandhurst, the first goal to who else but Fergus Green. They're 1 straight 6. No score, Castlemaine. Early stages of the first quarter. Score sponsor Parsons Towing's Castlemaine. Live 25. 25 local fresh footy.
As Castlemaine have moved the ball through the middle of the ground, they've kicked along to that half-forward line and allowed Lockie Wright's taken 2 marks in a row. So straight away, I'd like them to see to maybe lower the eyes, use that short, and then the next kick be deep inside the 50.
Sandhurst and Castlemaine for a whole heap of changes given these warm conditions.
I imagine that'll continue on, Jackson. So let's get back into the middle. I noticed, Mitro, that you gave away secrets after the first bounce compared to me when I don't. So we're going to have a secondary stoppage.
I forgot about that one, sorry.
Yeah, well, umpire Williamson just forward of centre for the Dragons. They'll work it. It was a kick forward by Cooper Smith to 50 now. Sandhurst doing all the attacking. They'll get one for too high. Stagg gets the free kick. Not sure if he's got the journey. Eyes are darting. Sandhurst by 1 goal. It's 1 goal, 6 to no score to the Magpies. It goes into the forward pocket underneath the scoreboard. Contest forms, ground level. We'll have a ball up. And umpire Williamson doing a lot of work in these hot conditions. Live 25, local fresh footy.
So we've got a ball up underneath the scoreboard. Hits the bottom of the pack. Taking it, Wilkinson couldn't get there. Hartley managed to try and find a way through, and then he stepped over the boundary line before he was taken in a strong tackle.
At that stoppage, Sandhurst had 6 players behind the ball to Castlemaine's 2. They're flooding their forward 50.
Lockie Wright was looking strong in that contest, and Hartley was happy to see it across the boundary line. We'll get it thrown in again. Bolter's got the height difference, but Collins looks like to have him covered with the leap. He's probably won more of the tap outs. Ayres in there for Castlemaine. He's taken over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in again. Actually, Hunter Staples out there, one of the new recruits for Castlemaine as well. Looking forward to what he brings from the VAFA, where he played for Fitzroy last year. So a big recruit for Castlemaine. Bolter won that one clearly down into the Staples direction. Hits the bottom of the pack, tackling by Nick Stagg. Will repeat a 4th stoppage in a row. 7 minutes gone in the opening quarter. It's Sandhurst leading this one by 1 goal.
Doing all the attacking here, the Dragons. It's on 50. Picking up the footy. There was Morris, but it'll be a free kick. Incorrect disposal. So the Magpies through John Watson. Talking about veterans saddling up again. He's one of them. Short pass. They'll work it across half-back. Ends up with Wilkinson. Geez, they're moving it quickly here. Johnny Watson getting involved. Harrison Sheen, he's got it on the wing now. He's got a player out. The player is Will Moran. Marks it on 50. He'll turn and go. Standing start. Off 1 step. Goes bang. Magpies on the board. 1 goal straight, 6 apiece at the 8-minute mark. Don Smallgoods is Good score sponsor. Live local footy.
Castlemaine's ball movement then from the back line, the transition was a lot better rather than the long kick to the half-forward line. They bought it on the 45 with 2 kicks to the opposing wing, run and carried and got that shot on goal, and they finished nicely.
Good bit of play, and it was a really good finish from Will Moran. Not sure his original intention was to go for goal, but it worked, Metro.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful kick.
So back in the middle. Collins first hands on it. Hartley was in the ruck this time, but it's 1 down. Staples takes it away. He kicks it out to Shan. Umpire fell over and found a free kick going to Sandhurst in there, so it'll be Tarju. He wastes no time, sends it towards the top of the 50. A player in front, Stagg, was collected, receives a free kick. He's definitely impeded. So right in front of our broadcast position, 70 out from goal, going to the city end. He tips the short pass to Connick. And on the mark is 55 out from home. Connick goes with a little darting pass. It was almost going to fall. It ended up falling into the hands of Hugh Smeltzer on the outside of the foot. Hugh Smeltzer, he bends it through for Sandhurst's second. Castlemaine dropped a mark that was crucial in defence. Schmelzer pounces. Sandhurst have got 2. Castlemaine have got 1. 12 plays 6. Score sponsor Aussie Disposals. Live 25. Local fresh footy.
Castlemaine will be disappointed with that one. They had 2 blokes in the hole in the right spot. Maybe a lack of communication, but probably dropped what would be a very markable mark, and capitalised by Smetzer. First goal for the Dragons.
Smetzer, not Smeltzer, by the way.
Back in the middle. Really hot conditions here at the QEO. Sweating in the commentary box, so I can only imagine what it's like there in the centre. Umpire Goodrich, talking about veterans again, umpire-wise and player-wise, throws it in the air. We've got Hartley doing the ruck work for the Magpies. They'll try to move it forwards. Ugly bit of play in the middle. Tardy getting his hands on the footy again. Will release. He emerges there to Lockie Hood. Gives it off, and it'll be a long kick forward. Sandhurst, poor kick. Intercept marked by Bailey Henderson in the back half. It is 12 playing 6, Sandhurst lead. 10 minutes gone. Live 25, local fresh footy.
The new buzz cut this year is Bailey Henderson after having that long flowing hair last year. Sends the ball down the poolside wing, off hands, kept alive by Wright. Might have been a little bit disappointed he didn't kill it because it's turned over. Ayres able to find some way through. They go backwards to go forwards, do the Magpies. It's picked up by Hickey, who is assisted over the boundary line by some strong tackling Dragons. 60 out from goal. Going towards the city end of the ground, trailing by 1 goal. But it's a really good contest at the moment. Hartley having a run in the ruck for the Magpies. Collins doing a lot of the ruck work for Sandhurst. Hartley will be advantaged that one. He'll double fist it forward about 15 metres into the hands of Free, who's tackled straight away, and will have a ball up 70 out from goal. Poolside wing.
It's 29 degrees here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval at the moment, so the pool would be a good place to be, Cameron.
Dare I say it, there's no breeze out there. Certainly doesn't feel it, Jackson. As Stagg emerges with the footy on the left, it's an awkward up and under ball. It goes shallow inside forward 50 towards the boundary line, off hands underneath the scoreboard. We'll have a ball in.
You could nearly do your boundary work from in the pool down there, couldn't you, Jackson?
Well, it's a possibility. I usually swim 4 or 5 times a week. Haven't been for my swim today.
Hope you've got your boardies on, Jackson, as the umpire will throw it in on 50. Hartley, there's a whistle on play. He will get a free kick for a hold. He's on defensive 50. Poolside, QEO. Absolutely steaming conditions here, really. And Hartley proceeds to kick it out of bounds on the full, and it'll be a free kick, a penalty free kick to Tardrew. He doesn't muck around, dishes it off by hand. Sandhurst will move it forward inside forward 50, shallow again. Their forward entries don't seem to be really clean at this moment. They're really battling hard. Wilkinson, good handball, goes to a teammate. He'll get it back. The old 1-2. Wilkinson shanks it out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, you're right. You picked up on their forward 50 kicking there. It's not really on target.
Byrne wastes no time bringing it into Henderson. Henderson then sends it out wide. Mark taken by Eyre, who's in the bright orange boots. That's Ryan Eyre. He's been busy early. Kick not so great, turned over. Hood has got an option inside forward 50 all on his own. And a mark has been taken for Sandhurst. And it is Schmetzer again. He quickly plays on. He probably had his time again. He might have gone back for the set shot. Umpire told him to play on. And he tries the banana from just inside the boundary. Minus score, the first blemish of the afternoon. 13 playing 6.
Just panicked a little bit there. Went to go and decided not to, but too late. The umpires are onto you now.
Darby Simmons, the reserves coach for this year, plays on from fullback, kicks it to Harrison Sheen, the ex-Tiger from Kyneton, in his 2nd or 3rd season now for the Magpies. Defensive arc of 50, short pass, didn't go 15 metres. I've been watching enough footy now to know that how many 15 metres is.
On that this year.
They have been. Ryan Eyre kicks it long, 50-metre ball to the broadcast side wing, spills to the back of the pack. Ireland will pick it up, then he fumbles it. Offering support there was Brom. Umpire allows the play to go on. Still contested ball, eventually won by the Dragons, who'll kick it full. Schmetzer might get in fact, he was the offending player. Advantage is given to the Magpies. Darby Salmon steams through the middle, gives it to Moran. Moran will swing it wide. He's got a player running inside forward 50. Johnny Watson hits him 40 metres out, and he'll line him up for... In fact, he plays on. He's got a lead in the pocket. The player is by himself. It may be Greaves. It is. And he'll line them up on a pretty tight angle there, Metro.
Well, I'll be telling my player, if you're 30 out on a 45-degree angle, you have a shot. You don't pass it to the bloke in the pocket. He now has to do some miracle.
He goes around the body on the left. It won't make the distance. It will come off hands, and it will be a minor score. Takes it to a 6-point margin. Dragons lead. 14 minutes gone. Live 25. Local fresh footy.
So Sandhurst wastes no time bringing it in. Receiving the 1-2 off the kick in, then they chip up the line. Wilkinson receives the footy. Handball over the top, they can get the run going. That'll be a kick up the line for the Dragons through Mills. Centre of the QEO now, poolside. Massive pack of players around this one. And we'll have a ball up. Busy in there at the moment for Castlemaine. as well is Staples. He's been busy early. Hartley wins the ruck contest, but he might have been being held, so he'll receive a free kick. He gets the ball, wastes no time, straight down the poolside wing he goes. It's a hard ball. Ireland comes a few and comes across and sees it over the boundary line. 60 out from goal, poolside of the QEO. Castlemaine in attack, heading towards the Barnard Street end of the ground.
6-point margin, 13 playing 7. Dragons lead. Umpire will throw it in. Up they'll go. Hartley doing a lot of the ruck work at the moment. He'll tap it to the front of the pack. No clear winner. It will be a ball up. Jack Chester tried to make a path and couldn't. And inside forward 50. He'll have another ball up. In fact, it might be. It is Chester. Come back into the side now for Castlemaine. They'll maintain possession of the football. With it is Staples, Hunter Staples. Couldn't effectively get rid of the footy. Treading water out here on the outer side, dare I say it, near the swimming pool. And it will be a free kick and it will go the way of the Dragons.
It's a little bit of overuse there by Castlemaine. Just a high pressure, couldn't get it on the boot.
So Sandhurst will send it down the poolside wing. No mark taken. Wilkinson in there has been busy. Comes backwards now. That's Wilkinson for Castlemaine battling away. Tried to knock it in the Philo direction, but it goes to the bottom of the pack. We'll have a ball up, centre wing position. South Bendigo, they've got the first strike against Strathfield, say, at Harry Trott, leading that one by a goal to nothing.
Hartley wins the tap again. It's a hurry kick forward, Magpies. They're getting a bit of possession here. Can they get something clean through Philo now? He'll go shallow inside forward 50. Ireland intercepts for the Dragons. Short pass. Hits Wilkinson. Wilkinson will play on quickly. Gives it to a teammate who'll bang it forward to half forward now. Dragons into attack. Contested ball. Sutherland gets his hands on the football and fumbled it. Dragons will emerge. Stagg on the end of a handball. A little left footer. Wasn't the required distance. Waiting at the back door. It was a Dragons player who kicked it forward, but it was all with Henderson. That kick came from Morrison. Now Henderson goes long and wide on half back to Philo.
Philo takes the mark, switches the kick across the ground. It's taken there by Will Marks, former South Bendigo player now at Castlemaine. Marks goes further forward down the line, hard up against the boundary line. Short pass over the top. It's in the hands of Archie Rickson for Castlemaine. So Rickson, centre wing position, pull side. Again, they're going to go hard up against the boundary line and it will come off hands. Maxted's back there for Sandhurst playing in defence. Handball over the top to Lockie Wright. Wright went with a little cute dribbling kick across the boundary. Might have been more effective to go the handball, I reckon, there, Wayne Mitrovic. And also interesting to note at the moment for you, Bailey Henderson looks to be dying predominantly down back.
Yeah, he is, yeah. I feel like at some stage he'll go through the middle. And Hartley as well started at centre half back and went from there into the ruck, which is an unusual change, not really traditional.
He's still doing the ruck work, and he actually socketed out of the air from the throw-in, which was highly unusual, of course, but it will be a secondary ball up as contested at ground level.
And Patrick Bolt has just come back on the ground from a spell, so he might be going back into the ruck as we speak.
So the ball is in contest. McConaughey emerges for the Magpies. He's on 50. Barnard Street end on the left into the goal square. Off hands. Ireland did well. It spills wide and in fact will go out of bounds. The Magpies are calling for deliberate and Jackson Saunders ground level.
They haven't goaled for 10 minutes, have the Castlemaine Magpies. Their only goal kicked by Will Morrell.
It's going to be a throw in, hard up against the boundary line. Bolter straight back into there. One down, Coughlin's able to send the kick out of defence. It's just a high ball out of defence. Hits the pack. No one wanted to claim it. Tardew emerged with it. Sends a 15-metre handball further forward. And he finds Connick. Connick handballs over the top. Now they're away through the middle. Cooper Smith's got some space. Nice looking ball inside forward 50. Tom Campbell had to beat two. Wasn't able to do so. Byrne emerges with a footy. Clearing kick out of defence. Finds its way into Harry Sheehan in the bright pink boots for Castlemaine. Right in front of our broadcast position. He'll send it down the grandstand side wing. Not a lot of play down this grandstand side wing. Knocked forward. It's picked up there by Huntley, who's been a little bit quiet for his lofty standards so far, but he will receive a free kick for being held without the footy. Defender was Nick Stagg.
So Huntley, experienced campaigner, had a super season last year. looks to continue this year. It's a bit of a copter ball, actually. Not sure if there's a breeze out there, Jackson. I'll get down to you there shortly, but it did go 50 metres. Swooping on it now will be Rickson. Rickson goes goalward, and good defensive play, big punch. There was 3 Dragons in there, put it over the boundary line, 20 metres around from the Castlemaine goal.
There has been a breeze throughout this opening term, mostly to the City end, so probably a couple of goals favouring it.
Throw in. Down. Unable to take it. Emerging with the footy. It comes out to Air. He'll fire one. In fact, it was Staples. Staples' kick went 20 metres high, 10 metres forward, and it fell, knocked over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. Right hand forward pocket. South Bendigo poolside change rooms. 13 plays 7, a goal difference in what has been a very entertaining quarter of footy so far at the QEO. Let's hope it stays that way. Nally emerges with the footy in the long sleeves, clears it out of defence, but it's gone straight to Johnny Watson. Johnny Watson goes with a short pass. We talked about those 15-metre ones, not sure that one was, but it's marked by Bailey Henderson. New look for Bailey Henderson in season 2025. There's a few ifs if he was going to take his spot in the Castlemaine side today, and he has, and they would be very happy to have him because that is a magnificent pass inside forward 50, and coming out and taking the mark is Jack Chester. But he is 49 metres out when he releases the ball, hard up against the boundary line. And we talked about what you mentioned before, Metro, coming out of defence, getting it to those players right in the pockets. It's a tough kick from here.
Yeah, it will be. Probably not as tight as the other one, but he's a bit further out. We'll see how he goes as he approaches now.
So Chester, very talented footballer for Castlemaine, hard up against the boundary line, and well, he's kicked that one.
It's another helicopter.
It was through for a minor score. It almost looked like it was going to be out of bounds on the full.
We're not using the Burleys again, are we?
13 playing 8 in favour of Sandhurst. 21 minutes gone in the opening quarter.
The old Plucker Brown ones, remember those ones? As Wright from the Dragons plays on from fullback, had a bounce, will bring it broadcast side to the wing. Harry Sheen jumped early, couldn't quite get his hands on the football. Sutherland did well, Magpies. And also Simmons. Geez, he's been in some strong contest, young Derby. Simmons for a little man, puts it over the boundary line. I love seeing that, Metro.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Like a little Jack Russell, aren't they, the little blokes?
Yeah.
Another player that had those long locks last year that's now looking a little bit more trim on top, Johnny, is Darby Simmons. Bolter knocks it down to the front of the pack where they all jump on top of the footy. Have another ball up. Definitely got a size advantage there, does Pat Bolter, but it's a very entertaining battle. He used his body to his advantage that time. Collins, he just got the tackle onto Hartley, which affected the handball. Tarjude couldn't quite have time to get a clean possession. It's socked forward by Cal Huntley, bouncing around. No possession taken. I think Keating might have been caught high. So he will receive a free kick for the Dragons. He'll go with a short pass where he's got Pinniger out on the wing. Grandstand side, but he looks up and there's not a lot of movement up the ground. There'll be a lot of fatiguing players late in this first quarter in very hot conditions. So he chips the short pass backwards. Mark's taken by Lockie Wright, who then goes to Ireland. Ireland will then switch the kick across the ground from defence, and it looks like it's in the hands of Connick.
Connick, short pass, Maxted at his ankles. It's good enough to mark it. He's now on the outer side wing. We went from one wing to the other. Not sure, Jackson, if there's a cap on interchanges, but if there is, they've probably reached it by now, I'd reckon. They're just swinging the changes.
There's been a real flurry all through the term.
Stagg from the wing for the Dragons, puts it deep in the forward pocket. Henderson got back there, little underground handball was neat to McConaughey, picks it up, short pass. Wilkinson on defensive 50, hard up against the boundary, near the scoreboard. They looked a little bit more composed down back. I love seeing Henderson getting back there. Now it's Wilkinson. He's asked to kick it, and he does. 50-metre ball, up onto the wing, big pack forms, ball now at ground level. Magpies have got the numbers, going in hard. There was Fajo Jr. who comes into the side this afternoon. Stoppage, ball up, umpire Jeff Williamson.
Scores in other games at South Bendigo by 11 points over Strathfield Say, Gisborne by a kick over Kangaroo Flat, and Golden Square by 2 goals over Eagle Hawk.
Plenty of entertaining battles in round 1 of the Bendigo Footy League going on. Ball at the bottom of the pack here at the QEO. Free kick's been pulled out.
Nick Stagg's having a go at Bolter, did you see that?
There's a little bit of a size difference between the two.
Talking about Foxies.
We'll get him to get on someone's shoulder so he can reach his chin.
So John Watson receives the free kick after all that. He's on centre wing position on the pool side. Again, they're happy to play it up against the boundary line, the Magpies. He's kicked down the line floating in, taking an intercept mark will be Wright. Wright then swings the kick across the defence. Now they can emerge out wide. Pinniger comes out and takes the mark. He's been good early, Pinniger, in just his second game of senior footy. Short pass was good, productive. It's in the hands of Mills. Mills then goes back to Pinniger. On the right foot, down the line he goes. Watson went up. He had a bit of an air swing at that one. Comes off hands. Mills is in there. Just worked off the footy a little bit too easily there by the strong Bailey Henderson. Mills tried to fool the umpire and keep it away, but the boundary umpire was right in position to see that it had gone over the boundary line, right in front of our broadcast position. 25 minutes have ticked over in the first quarter. It's Sandhurst leading this game by 5 points.
Darcy Mills looks like Brett Lee with that zinc cream on his nose, blonde hair, and these conditions. He's going to open the bowling. Darby Simmons will swoop on it from half back. He's tackled well by Morris. Umpire said that's all okay, and we'll have a stoppage, and 51 from home for Sandhurst. We'll have a ball up. It's a 5-point margin. Dragons lead. Bolter for the Magpies. A huge mound he is. Gets his hands on the footy for a second time, but umpire Caldwell picks out a free kick. Is this Greaves with the footy? It might be a number change. No, in fact, it's Staples. They look alike. Ball goes to the boundary line. Harrison Sheen tried to see it over. Eventually did. Right in front of us at the coach's box. We'll have a ball in, 5-point margin.
Scoring has dried up for both sides. There's been no goal kicked in 14 minutes by either the Magpies or the Dragon.
Feels like today might be some goals that will be hard to come by. Keating ran into his own teammate in Collins, but it worked out. Handball into the middle of the ground. Hood gave it off. Tarju gets it on the right, sends it inside, and reading the ball best will be Bailey Henderson, who's been really good down there. Be a candidate for our Best on Ground award today, which is Bendigo City Framers again this year, Johnny Hunter. So then goes with a short pass across Simmons. Back to Henderson. Well, if that one wasn't called 15, there's been a few that wasn't called. There's been a few others that probably should have been called, but they were able to coolly compose themselves out of there. They send it across the ground. Johnny Watson's got it. Johnny Watson goes with a dangerous short pass. He put Sutherland under all sorts, but he stood there, he wore the contact and took a nice mark to Jack Sutherland. And he'll chip a short pass again out wide, and they'll emerge the footy out of defence. The Magpies in the hands of Brodie Byrne.
Brodie Byrne playing the swimming pool side. 50-metre ball, up they'll fly. Ireland got his hands on the footy, then backs up, but a lot of players around the footy, they dive on it, and we'll have a ball up swimming pool side. 27 minutes gone. Opening term, 5-point margin, the Dragons. Got a close one on our hands, early days. The footy's not pretty, but both sides having a crack. Big Bolter for the Magpies, puts it in the path by hand to Philo. Philo couldn't quite win it. Wilkinson, Cooper Smith in there as well. McConaughey emerges with the Magpies. Handball forward. It's messy. They'll move it forward, and they're away here. Huntley gives it to a teammate. Can't emerge. That was John Watson. And the ball goes out of bounds. 70 metres out from the Magpies. Goal to the Barnard Street swimming pool side.
Maintaining high pressure. They'll be looking for a break shortly, that's for sure.
So throw in. Sent inside forward 50 by the Magpies. Needs the bounce. Just didn't quite get it. Spills to the bottom of the pack, and we'll have another ball up inside forward 50. Those red and green Sandhurst signs are going up again for season 2025. Looks like the red signs been... You couldn't work out what they were last year. Metro might know.
Oh, well, green is go and red is stop. That's about all I know.
Very good analysis there. That's why you get paid the big bucks, Metro. Inside forward 50.
Are you sure, Metro? Are you sure?
Inside the forward line.
We're dealing with footballers here. Keep it very simple.
Knocked down. And that will be quarter time. An entertaining first quarter here at the QEO. Sandhurst lead it, but it has been a very good game. It was 15 minutes without a goal in that quarter. Sandhurst 2-1-13, Castlemaine 1-2-8. In other games in Bendigo footy, South Bendigo 2 straight to Strathfield say 1-4-10. Gisborne leading by 12 points over Kangaroo Flat, and it is Golden Square leading by 1 goal over Eagle Hawk. Big quarter of footy already done here at the QEO, and it's an even bigger second quarter to come. 5-point lead to Sandhurst. Local footy, Live 25, local fresh footy.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Keyser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas, they design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Keyser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Keyser, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and strength training, building strength with precision.
He goes in the Fergus Green direction. He used his body, but he dropped the mark, did Fergus. Handball's back to Eureka. Eureka snaps the first goal in the grand final. Ball up. Blake knocks it down. Bernacki emerges with it. He gets space. He gets the goals open. Up Bernacki.
Another turnover now. Handball forward, Connick. He gives it to 3. Runs to 50 and slots it. Fergus Green will go long. There's 2 Sandhurst players and 2 Dogs. It's 30 still out. Curno's got the footy. Over the top to Joel. There and around, getting involved with the footy was Lynch. Inside forward 50 now for the Dogs. Running through was Merritts. And goal.
Back in the middle. One down. Tarju will get the clearance. He'll accelerate away. He has a bounce. He then rolls inside forward 50 for the instant reply. Lachlan Tarju. Handball out. Maxted's kick smothered. Knock forward for the Dogs. Going through to with Dennehy. Dennehy gave it to Lakey. Lakey bends the ball back around. It's up forward by Dennehy. Can he have a 5-minute burst like he did last week? It's taken by the Dogs. It's Matt Merritt. It's the goal! To the bounce. He'll then send it inside forward 50. Big moment for this one. Away inside forward 50 they go. Eureka at the front of the pack. They knock it forward, the Dragons. It'll come to Green. Green will fire at goalwards. And Fergus Green kicks the goal. But May
And a wing. Swimming pool side. Big pack of the Dragons win the flag.
Ball movement into their forward half has been really poor. I actually think they could be 4 or 5 goals up if they use that ball a bit better going into their forward line. So it was definitely played in their forward half.
Jackson Saunders at ground level.
Just come from both huddles, and Sandhurst's message from Bryce Curnow was that their backline needs to lift. Ball movement, though, has been excellent from his perspective. From Castlemaine's perspective, Michael Hartley, as coach, said the contest they've given has been brilliant. They've hit bodies hard, which has been great. Tackling's been fantastic, but they've been a bit too handball friendly at times. They're adjusting a few things as they move forward tactically in this second term, so we'll wait to see what's in store.
And to get the second quarter underway, live 25 local fresh footy. Sandhurst by 5 points over Castlemaine at the QEO. Here's John Hunter.
And Collins. It was probably Collins that won it. McConaughey kicks it out of the middle now for the Magpies. It went inside forward 50. Maxted down there for the Dragons defensively. Across the body will send it to the outer side wing. Ryan Ayres got the footy to half forward, but bravely in front of the footy, Harrison Free takes a mark across half back. Better players for Castlemaine in that term, I thought. Bailey Henderson, Johnny Watson, Darby Salmons tough at the footy, and I didn't mind Hartley in the ruck either.
Quarter time score in the Heathcote League. Mount Pleasant 8-2-50 leading Heathcote 3 straight 18. Far side of the boundary here at the QEO. Sandhurst will have possession. They're going towards the Barnard Street end of the ground. Kick down the line, just fell short of its intended target. Spills to the bottom of the pack. And we'll have a ball up 65 out from home. And I see the QEO hasn't invested in bringing that windsock back behind the goals down there this year, Johnny.
No, they haven't.
It was my pet peeve last year. I used to enjoy having that down there to see which way the breeze was going. We'll get Jackson Saunders to give us an update on that breeze in a moment down at ground level.
Your other pet peeve was deliberate out of bounds, insufficient attend.
We haven't seen any of that, but I reckon I'm going to go with the 15-metre passes this year. I've got to have something. So across half back here for Castlemaine, they look to emerge into the middle. Philo short pass off the ground. Nally's kick it was smothered, and then they all dive on top of that for a ball up.
The breeze has picked up slightly, Cameron, to the City end still. The smothering from both sides has been really good to watch today too.
Umpire Goodridge will throw it up. Bolter, he tapped it to the opposition. He's winning the taps, but Castlemaine are not capitalising. Fortunately, they'll get a free kick here to Cal Huntley on a halfback, Barnard Street end. He'll swing it wide, broadcast side. A little bit severe for Harrison Sheen. Runs onto it. A little bit of an underground handball. That's all right. Staples back to Sheen. Handball forward to Fajo Jr. Oh, sold some candy. Then he kicked it 2 metres straight into Wilkinson. Wilkinson, the old 1-2 to Darcy Mills. Further afield now was Schmetzer. Schmetzer for the Dragons. Inside forward 50. Big fly to the back of the pack. Green can't capitalise. It was at his ankle, and good build up over the boundary line 15 metres out from goal.
So we do the fancy stuff, we've got to do the basic stuff well too.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's good to see though, like players taking the game on.
That was Fajo Jr.
Yeah.
So knocked down, and again it's sharked. Wilkinson got it, handballed off. They tried to go backwards to try and get some separation. Coughlin went through, and he was taken by the legs, and he's going to receive a free kick.
Fortunate there for Sandhurst, but you put your head over and you play the ball, and only good things will happen.
So James Coughlin is 15 out from goal, almost in line with the left-hand goalpost. Barnard Street end of the ground. Absolute warrior for the Sandhurst Footy Club over a long period of time has James Coughlin. Was very impressive in their side's premiership win last year. On the right, well, you give him a rap and he's kicked it completely across the face, and he's put it through for a minor score to the right-hand side.
Midfield recently, predominantly was a backman, you see that.
Yeah, so 2-2-14, plays 1-2-8. It's an even 6 points the difference. As we wait for the ball to come back and over the fence, Bailey Henderson will do the kicking duties for the Magpies.
Interestingly, James's brothers John and Lee Coughlin are both playing a bit of footy at Cavendish this year up near Dunkeld.
Whereabouts is that?
Out west, yeah, Horsham Way. Henderson plays on from fullback, Barnard Street end to the broadcast side, 50-metre ball. Hartley is the target. He got caught 3 deep, hands on the footy, and in fact he got impeded. Umpire Wilson said play on. Air picked it up. He's had 3 bounces. It's with Air, and he'll go long. This is Ryan into the pocket. He was looking for Greaves, tapped it to the top of the square. Castlemaine, have they got a chance here? Good composure here is with the Dragons. Emerging with the footy was Brom.
Yeah, Brom goes with a short pass. It's taken away. Down the line they go to the Dragons. It's up into the hands of Molly Morris. Ollie Morris up towards 60 out from goal.
Robinson.
Taken here by Charlie Robertson. He'll send it inside forward 50 looking for Stagg. Wilkinson of the Magpies went back. Brody Byrne collected it off the ground. Handball to a teammate who was hard up against the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. 50 out from goal.
Now if Bryce thought
they made
the
that
ball,
hard, didn't they, Castlemaine?
Oh, they did. That was one that got away there for sure. He was out inside the 50 all by himself. But another poor entry from Sandhurst going into 50 there.
Both teams are content to play hard up against the boundary line. They haven't really given too many chances for direct leads closer to goal to set themselves up for an easier set shot. Sandhurst will then send a high ball inside forward 50. It comes off hands. Robinson handball over the top. Now they can look to centre it. It's going to go right to the top of the square, but Brody Byrne is back there all on his own playing that goalkeeper role. He takes the intercept mark. Dangerous kick out of defence, but it was okay and Sheen managed to hold it.
Harrison Sheen. He'll now spread it wide. He kicked it to Ryan, who used Air, used his body well, put a handball over the top. It was ineffective. Collins gets involved now for the Dragons, puts it inside forward 50. Strong contested mark. It was a chest mark in the end, but it might be...
Henderson again, I think.
Henderson, geez, he did well. I was going to say Darby Simmons, but he's got a bit more size about him. But down back again, Henderson goes to Cal McConaughey by foot. He's on the defensive arc. He'll spread it wide, swinging pool side to Sutherland. Sutherland on the left. He's got Bolter there, who takes a chest mark. True centre wing, swimming pool side. He now swings it. He kicks it to a 2-on-1 contest. The 2 are with Sandhurst, but it was good work by Will Moran. He was in the spot. Handball over to Johnny Watson. 49 from goal. He's on a pretty tight angle and he slots it. Good goal from there, Johnny Watson. And that makes things interesting from a scoreboard perspective. All tied up, 2-2-14 apiece. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Yeah, well, that's tied it up there. Capitalised on a basic skill error, drop mark from Sandhurst. Now, Wilkinson did one the same last quarter. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and maybe the sun might be sneaking into the eyes, but nevertheless, you need to take them, and he didn't. And Castlemaine did what good teams do and made them pay on the scoreboard.
Geez, Johnny Watson had to kick that goal, though. He had plenty of options at the top of the square there, I reckon, if he could have gone the pass. But he kicked the goal, so it doesn't matter. Henderson will receive the ball off the half-back flank where the ball bounces down there. They go wide, 1-2, got it back and then ran himself into pressure. Then had to handball out to a teammate. He's able to emerge with the footy for the Magpies. Simmons will send it up towards centre-half forward. Huntley goes back, couldn't take it. He was being held without the footy, and he'll receive a free kick.
Sandhurst are away then too.
Yeah,
poor free kick.
Harrison free, just probably didn't need to do it in the end. So Huntley goes, short pass out wide. Marks has got it. 70 out from goal for the Magpies. He slows things down and waits for an option to emerge inside forward 50. Sends it into the hot spot. Can he get something? Hartley's been caught out. Shoved his man out of the way. He went the Jackie Chan kick from midair, and it almost come off for a minor score. Don't worry about picking it up when you could do that. Minor score. 15 playing 14, but Castlemaine lead this game for the first time 7 minutes into the second quarter.
I like that, Cam, the Jackie Chan. That was exactly what it looked like too. Harrison free.
If it was me, it'd be more like Kung Fu Panda.
As he runs on from fullback and he'll bring it broadcast side. His target was Tom Campbell. He's got support though. It's a long ball. Dragons just didn't look then with that kick. Wilkinson, Magpies intercept. He goes to the wing. He hits up Ryan Eyre into the middle. It's going to be a turnover there. Here's a chance for the Dragons. On the end of a handball was Cooper Smith. Inside forward 50, all by himself. Top of the square. Fergus Green gets an early Christmas present, or a late one, whichever way you go. He didn't have anyone within cooey of him and just ran into an open goal and put it through for the Dragons. That takes the Dragons to 3-2-20. They're leading Castlemaine 2-3-15. Score sponsor Bendigo City Framers. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Look, Castlemaine there went into the centre of the ground. There's a 50-50 and Staggy was able to get it Dragons' way, but I don't mind that by them. That was positive play to attack, because in that first quarter the knock was going long to the half forward line. So take that kick, because if Castlemaine had one possession, that was a deep entry, and they've been hitting the scoreboard. So I don't mind it. I think persevere and keep taking the game on.
Not sure how you can allow a player of Fergus Green's capability to find himself 30 metres on his own.
The modern press, mate. They all come up the ground, and if he's got a sore calf, you just sit back in the square and wait.
Well, he'll be happy if that happens across the day, because turnover game is modern footy, if you ask me. Tarju fires out the handball to Connick. Connick will then chip the short pass. It's taken by Collins. Collins handballs off, and they'll send it inside forward 50 again from Connick. Brody Byrne come through and knocked it down, but standing at the front of the pack there and snapping goalwards will be Charlie Robertson. An opportunistic goal from Charlie Robinson, and Sandhurst go bang bang after Castlemaine led. They're now out by 11 points. They lead it 4-2-26 to 2-3-15. Score sponsor Aussie Disposals, Live 25. Local fresh footy.
All right, that there in the centre there, the ball came out Castlemaine's way. They all ran forward, which once again, that's really positive play. But then once Sandhurst won possession, it left their midfield that was sitting back. Free ball to go into the 50. Where do you get your excitement and enthusiasm versus smarts? You've got to find that balance.
Back into the middle. It'll be Bolter up against Seb Collins of the Dragons. No clear winner. Ground level. Bolter actually did well, picked up the footy, and then he was brought to the ground somehow. And eventually he'll get up, hand the ball to the umpire Williamson, and just forward of centre for Sandhurst will throw it up. Bolter wins the tap, put it straight down the throat of Chester. Series of handballs, and on the end of it here now will be a long ball. It'll go inside. It came from Marks into the pocket. 2-on-2 deep in the forward pocket. Dragons hold it up. I'll have a ball up.
Hartley just dived straight on top of that one then, and was always going to be paid holding the ball.
Got holding the ball, so I thought it was going to be a ball up. 11-point margin, Sandhurst lead. Castlemaine deep in attack, but as you said, Cam, free kick with the Dragons.
So Kobe Maxted has the ball across half back. deep in defence, I should say, underneath the scoreboard. He comes out on the right. That's a really nice pass. Absolute bullet pass, which found its way into the hands of Coughlin. Coughlin's field kicking's a little bit better than his goal kicking at the moment. Short pass will be taken. Connick to Stagg. Then Stagg gives it back to the run there, which is Coughlin again. He just floats one up towards centre forward. And it's taken by Collins. He gets out the back. Nice handball over the top. Into the goal square they go. And Fergus Green is all on his own again. He's kicked 3, Fergus Green, and they're just not showing him any interest in manning him up in defence. You talked about that modern press before, Metro, but, well, Fergus Green will be loving life down there. And look, score sponsor, Parsons Towing, Castlemaine, Live 25 local fresh footy, 32 plays 15.
3 of Fergie's goals, 2 of them are team goals, I'd say, besides a nice set shot, sitting back. But, yeah, look, I just think Castlemaine, keep persevering, keep attacking. You just turn it over, it's going to hurt you. What Sandhurst did with their ball movement, short through the middle, run, receive, handball. So it wasn't overly risky, but they're moving it quickly and it creates that overlap.
He did look a bit lame then.
He looked very lame, yeah.
He looked like he had a pebble in his shoe then, I reckon. He was noticeable if you're checking out the vision. But Sandhurst will win it out of the middle again. Need to be careful here. Wilkinson collects. He's on half forward. By hand. Goes to Morris. Morris, a short pass wide, is effective. Hits up Caleb Connick. And on a 45-degree angle, well inside forward 50, will line them up to the Barnard Street end.
Yeah, running forward to the footy. Castlemaine got caught there. They have to come up to defend the bloke carrying the ball, creating an overlap over the top. And, they just had an option sitting 30, 40 out and about to utilise their vision and skill and hit him.
Caleb Connick, I always say he's got a bit of an unusual action, but he always seems to kick well. And on that occasion, he does as well. Not only in his field kicking, but his shots for goal. So, and extend the lead here. It goes to a 6-2-38 Sandhurst. They've skipped away from Castlemaine. 2-3-15. We're halfway through this second term. 13 and a half minute mark. Score sponsor, Don Smallgoods is good. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Sandhurst Will Pinninger received a bit of a hip and shoulder then from Bailey Henderson from the Castlemaine Magpies as he came off the ground. So a bit of feeling in this contest, but Sandhurst with the momentum in this second term.
In the middle we go. One down there by Collins. Collins then knocked it backwards. It's nice handball out to Cooper Smith. Smith sends it across the pull side wing, and it's all Sandhurst at the moment. Taken by Wilkinson. Wilkinson over the top to Nally. They'll go inside again. Nally's kick was just a low worm-booming grubber. Sandhurst player went inside, had his head almost taken off, and he'll receive a free kick. That'll be Charlie Robinson, 45 metres out from goal. Looked like he was going to play on. Eventually the umpire tells him to do so. He sends it towards the goal square. One-on-one contest. Good knock down there. It came from Wilkinson, but it's Sandhurst at ground level. Ireland handballs off. Came back from Connick. Going without the ball there was Collins, and they're able to get themselves out of trouble here. The Magpies clearing kick will go down in the direction of Bailey Henderson. Bounced over the head of him. Philo was shoved out of it. He'll receive a free kick. It was handed straight in the back from Will Grome. Free kick to Philo.
38 playing 15. Sandhurst.
That's 50, isn't it? Sandhurst player just didn't throw the ball back. So around the grounds in the Maryborough Castlemaine League, Navarre 4-2-26 leading the Maryborough Giants 3-5-23.
Philo is across half forward, just in front of us, broadcast side. He'll go inside forward 50. They'll set themselves, a pack of players. Kick was smothered. It came from Henderson. Still contested ball. On that end of a handball was Huntley. He got besieged by 3 Dragons, and 35 metres out from goal will have a ball up.
North Central, Calder Lions 26, Sea Lake 18, Birchett Watcham 58, Donald Zip. And Wedderburn 4-5, St Arnaud 0.
Archie Rickson got the ball off the pack and had a flying shot on goal there and went out of bounds on the full. Free kick will go to Kobe Maxted for the Dragons.
Thank you very much there, Cameron. As the ball's with Smith, back pocket underneath the scoreboard. He ran 3 steps and bounced it. I don't know if players do that, but they seem to. And it will be a mark to the Magpies. Sheen did well. He's got Hartley by himself on half forward. Hartley from 60 metres goes bang and puts it through. He was standing on centre forward at the QEO for that, Hartley, and he pops to a much-needed goal. That'll take the score to 3-3-21, trailing Sandhurst 6-2-38. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers, Live 25, local fresh footy.
That's the goal of the day as far as I'm concerned. South Bendigo are leading Strathfield Say by 14 points. Gisborne by 30 points over Kangaroo Flat. The Roos yet to goal. 5-5 plays 5 behinds. And Golden Square and Eagle Hawk in a close one. 3-2, 20 apiece at Waite Street.
A great goal from Castlemaine. Scored on turnover. That's their second goal from turnover. Great ball movement.
Back in the middle we go. Sandhurst lost the hit out, but Tarji will be first back to the footy. He's able to handball out wide, taken by Connick. He'll then send the short pass, which was nice. It's taken, it's Stagg on the right. It's a low kick inside forward 50, almost a bullet pass. Lockie Hood's lurking down there for Sandhurst. He receives it, he handballs off to Wilkinson. Wilkinson snaps around the body on the right. Sandhurst are on a charge here at the QEO. Straight out of the middle with an instant response. And it is Matt Wilkinson with the finish. Sandhurst have now skipped out to a nice little lead here at the QEO. 7-2-44, Castlemaine 3-3-21. 18 minutes gone, second quarter. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott, Builder, Live 25, local fresh footy.
Now, it's the Dragons' leg speed that's starting to get them on top. They're running in numbers forward of the ball, sharing it by hand nicely, and been able to capitalise and finish off in the goal square. So I feel like Castlemaine's one there was against the flow, but now Dragons getting that back gives the momentum back in their hands straight away.
Maryborough, Castlemaine, Carrisbrook 3 goals 1, leading Newstead 1 goal 1.
Umpire Cordwell will ball it up. 3 umpires today. Up they go in the ruck. Hartley's gone back into the ruck, but it'll be Sandhurst who win it out the middle again. It came from Coughlin, a left footer to half forward. They look dangerous up forward. Wilkinson getting involved as well. They might get one. In fact, incorrect disposal. In fact, it was Morris. Darby Simmons doing well for the Magpies. He's on half back. Barnard Street in, bringing it down the broadcast side. Trots, then an up and under kick. It goes 50 metres to a pack of players. Spills there to Greaves of the Magpies. Inside forward 50. Henderson did well. Oh, he did a little bit of a Kevin Bartlett. Handballed it and kept it in play. A swinging ball. Big banana. And unlucky not to kick it in the end. It was a good bit of play. Minor score 44. Playing 22, 90 minutes gone, second term.
Great to see. It's where you come to country footy. Genuine one-on-one contests on the boundary in front of the crowd.
Free brings the ball back into play, charging out, taking the mark. Almost underneath the scoreboard is Lockie Hood. So Hood has it. He susses up to the options and then goes with a short pass, which was okay, to Cooper Smith. Smith will go with a short pass again. Nally. Interesting decision to still wear the long sleeves out there today on a 30-degree day. Picked off there by Sandhurst. They try to work it forward. Eventually they turn over the handball. There's a mass pack of players around this ball. Comes out. Eventually the clearing kick will go up towards centre half forward, but it's Castlemaine back there, taken by Hartley. He quickly plays on, finds Greaves. Greaves then sends it out wide to Ronald Fijo Jr. So Fijo Jr.'s got it. Mills on the mark. It's a nice little short pass. Hartley under all sorts of pressure. And Will Pinniger, they all get around young Will Pinniger, and just his second game of senior footy has made a big contest. Knocked the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in right in front of our broadcast position. Also in the Maryborough Castlemaine League, it's Harcourt leading 49 to Campbell's Creek 13.
Love to see that from your young, inexperienced players, don't you?
Yeah. Were you underneath that, Jackson, then, were you? It sounded like you were.
Yes, it was an excellent spoil and big crowd in the grandstand too. I'd say there's about 150, about 50 underneath the grandstand. Obviously the 3 premiership flags from last year in all grades of football unveiled this afternoon.
Father Jackson Saunders at ground level this afternoon. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast here. Magpies versus Sandhurst. Sandhurst have just got the momentum at the moment. They lead by 22. But it's Hartley with the footy. In front of us, broadcast side, he's 70 from home. He received a free kick. Now he goes inside forward 50. It's not an effective kick. In fact, it clean bowled everybody, Kobe Maxted included, of the Dragons, and goes over the boundary line 5 metres out from Castlemaine's goal and will have a ball end.
I feel like Castlemaine need to score from this inside 50 now, just to keep in touch with the Dragons.
Throw in. Hartley tried to work his way to the front of the pack against Collins. It's knocked to ground. Clearing kick out of there from Sandhurst, and it's an intercept because the mark's been taken going back with the flight will be Hunter Staples. Former Castlemaine junior product is Hunter Staples. Spent a few years away at Fitzroy in the Amateur Football League.
If he was my son, what would his name be? Hunter, wouldn't it?
His last name's Staples, so...
Hunter Staples Hunter. He's kicked straight anyway.
Well, he's kicked the goal. I was waiting for the crickets to chirp in on Johnny Hunter there, but there was a little bit of noise in the background because the goal's been kicked and it's a really good big goal for Castlemaine. Staples, he gets it. Johnny's new favourite player. It's 4-4-28, Castlemaine, Sandhurst 7-2-44. 21 minutes gone in the second quarter. Score sponsor, Bendigo City Framers, Live 25, local fresh footy.
So, back into the middle we'll go. Leave all the funny stuff for me. I'm funny when I'm not even trying to be funny, Cam.
Well, considering his last name's not Hunter.
Well, don't let the facts get in the way. Yeah, well, that's his first name. My name's Hunter, so he's my son. Let's not labour the point. As Hartley wins the tap in the middle, they just need to gain something from this bit of momentum, but they're not going to on this occasion. It will be the Dragons. Turnover, though. Hartley fought hard for that ball. It spilled to centre wing on the outer side, and eventually it will be a stoppage, but he's battling hard, Hartley. I like the way he's going, Metro.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive player. He loves the physical nature of the contest.
Ball up. Knocked to ground. Sandhurst pounce on it. Stagg emerges with the footy. Sends it in towards a one-on-one contest. Good mark taken. Playing in front. Mark or a free kick. Take your pick. And it will be taken by Castlemaine. It's Jack Sutherland in defence. Sutherland then clears the kick out towards the poolside change rooms where he finds Philo. So Philo's got it. This is Matty Philo. Plays on the right. True centre wing position is where the ball will drop. Couldn't quite take the mark, was Marks. No marks for Marks. And it will be a free kick pulled going the way of Sandhurst, I believe. Lockie Tarju might have been being held without the footy. So Tarju receives the free kick, poolside wing. Not a lot of movement here. Short pass was okay. Cooper Smith, half-back flank last year, now moving more into a midfield role this year. Handball's off to the runner in Tarju, sends a high ball inside forward 50. No mark taken, but I think Henderson was first up. He received. He was impeded in the marking contest. He'll quickly switch the kick, and they might be out here if they're good enough to get it moving. It's with Sheehan.
He'll play on, kicks it to the wing. He kicked it to a contest. Doing well with Dragons was right, flew high, but numbers are with the Magpies. They'll emerge. A kick forward to Will Moran, who ran with the flight of the footy on a half forward. He just calmed the farm and said, let's have a look what's ahead of us. And as he does that, players flood forward. Now Moran goes. Well, he kicks it to Bolter. Bolter probably didn't go quick enough. He didn't have the leg. The ball now spills. Right, handball. They're going to get out of it here. They'll work it through Connick. Connick handball forward. Stagg receives. Connick gets it back. Connick steps around far too easily than Harrison Sheen of the Magpies. Brodie Byrne then does well as the kick went in his direction, hard up against the boundary line. It's kept in play. They need to kill it here, the Magpies, but they don't. It will be another turnover. Philo, Harrison Sheen. In fact, it's air and up and under kick.
Sets himself a tough ask for Chester to fly over the back of the pack. Didn't bring the mark down, but Stagg received it. Handball's off. Mills. Inside 450 came from Smith, I should say. Spills to the back of the pack. Handball out of there. Henderson, Wilkinson. They clear it out to Johnny Watson. Johnny Watson handballs over the top. Plenty of Johnnies out there. Over the top to Henderson again. He's starting to get busy. Henderson's kick down the line was good. Finds its way into the hands of a player on the far side. They'll chip it back. Can't catch who that was out there, but it's in the hands now of Henderson again. Henderson into the middle of the ground finds McConaughey, Cal McConaughey. He's got plenty of options. One of them is Sheehan. That's where the kick goes. Green comes to lend a hand, but he's impeded. Sheehan had first hands of the footy. Ooh. And Green got him a little bit high. So Sheehan, handball's off. It'll be a chance for a load up and shot at goal from Ryan Eyre. It just pulls to the top of the square. Maxted got back to lend a hand. In fact, it's fallen over the top of everyone. Pinniger took the mark. He played on quickly, and it was an absolute shocking kick.
Did he just kick it into his teammate then? Got into his way?
I need a replay to see what happened then, but it was an absolute shocker, and just no composure showed by young Pinniger, and it's forced the stoppage on the top of the goal square. Ball up. Hartley knocks it down. They all just emerge around this footy. Hartley does the tackling on Lockie Wright.
He did all the hard work and took that beautiful contested mark and then just let himself down a bit.
Hartley tapped down, straight to the bottom of the pack. They're all around this one. That ball's not going anywhere anytime soon. Umpire lets them play.
Now, if you do that in the forward goal square, no one remembers, but you do it in the back goal square, there's a bit more pressure on.
Of course, Dale Caldwell in charge out there at the moment. Knocked down. It's a flying shot out of there from Castlemaine. Might have been Moran that got the kick out of there. It's gone out of bounds for a boundary throw in. Right hand forward pocket. Barnard Street, Bendigo City ends of the ground here at the QEO. 44 playing 28, 27 minutes gone, second quarter. Sandhurst in lead, but I wouldn't say they're in control of this game at the moment, Johnny.
Particularly if Castlemaine can get a goal here. They need one really just to stem it a little bit and going with a bit of momentum. Hartley doing a power of work in the ruck. John Watson was held without the footy. In fact, it's gone the other way, wasn't it?
He's called dropped first.
Dropped the footy. Well, see, I had my black and white glasses on there, Mitro, but all I see is the arms flung up. But
that's right, yes.
So it'll be Sandhurst now will work it out of the back half through Jack Keating, who's taken a mark. In fact, he's on
had all the run in the first part of this quarter, but I feel like Castlemaine's got themselves back into the game in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Keating to the wing. Good strong mark. Schmetzer. I like how he moves. He's tall and skinny. I wouldn't say skinny. He's pretty lean. Short pass. It went 16 metres to Stagg forward. Stagg, the veteran. 17 metres forward by foot. Back to Keating. And Keating is slowing things right down to Cameron Power.
Yeah, looks like they're just content to run this quarter down because he'll go with a short pass back to Island. He's got options in the middle of the ground if he wants. He almost bit the pass off to Free, but Hartley was aware of what was coming there. So he's forced to go backwards to Maxted. Maxted does the old reverse horseshoe out of there to Lockie Wright.
Oh, behave,
Lockie
Cameron.
Wright goes down the far side of the ground.
I feel like this is something they've trained, identified Castlemaine's had a bit of momentum, and they're just going to possess the ball for a little while just to break that.
I was going to say, this is AFL stuff. It's like you're watching an AFL team the way they're doing this. Brilliant.
Short pass.
It's hard to do on the run in real time.
The old timers would say it's not brilliant, but it is.
So Rome has it. He'll go back to where it came.
Class.
Castlemaine are playing a man loose down back. Liam Wilkinson, that is.
Chip. Another chip into the middle of the ground. Now they finally get some emergence. Mills has got it. Mills emerges. He'll go from 60. Sends it right to the top of the goal square. Green got a fly. Sitting at the bottom of the pack was Schmetzer. And he just couldn't quite find it through.
Good build up there. You risk turning it over. So one of those chips don't hit the mark, you're in trouble. But you back your skill level and poise, and they worked that beautifully and possessed the ball for a couple minutes.
And they did, and eventually a hole opened for Mills, who was able to burst inside. 45 playing 28 as we hit the 30th minute in this second quarter. Sandhurst in front.
Henderson will kick out from fullback. Steps out of the box and then kicks it right hard up against the boundary line. And hits Ryan Eyre.
Hartley long down the line.
Plays on. Didn't really look because he kicked it straight to Lockie Wright. That's 50 in my book. Yeah, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, Metro, but he pushed him. He pushed him after he marked it. Hartley knows better than that.
Oh look, he plays on the edge, and sometimes that wasn't too aggressive.
It wasn't.
It was a bit soft. It may be slightly late, but he brings that real presence to their team out there. So occasionally he might get it wrong. But I think it's really important he shows that intent out there for the younger blokes to follow him.
Well, Lockie Wright, geez, I wouldn't like to buy real estate off Jeff Williamson, I'll tell you. I don't reckon that was 50. I reckon it's about 38, isn't it? He's still 35 from goal.
If they kicked that far, they would have called play on.
Yeah. And he did do a bit of an army roll when he marked it. But it's a copter ball, but it's straight. That was an ugly shank, as Joel Peterson say, God bless you, dead pigeon. And it's a goal. So, geez, Castlemaine didn't need that, but Sandhurst showing some dominance here. 8-3-51. They lead 4-4-28. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder. Live 25 local fresh footy.
31 minutes gone in this second term. The facial expression of the players, Metro, you can see they're really hanging out for half time. They've had to push hard in this term.
Yeah, well, we've hit 30 minutes now, or nearly 31. That's a long quarter.
South Bendigo leading 5-3-33 to Strathfield, say 2-7-19 at Parry Trot as well. So a good game of footy going on there. Big game here at the QEO as well. Tarju tried to emerge with the footy, couldn't take it. Philo dived on the siren sounds. And what ends a very entertaining half of footy. Sandhurst have an advantage, but I would not say they're in control of this game. 8-3-51, Castlemaine 4-4-28. It's been a terrific first half of footy around the grounds in Bendigo Footy League. South Bendigo 5-3-33 to the Storm 2-7-19. Gisborne 9-7-61 leading Kangaroo Flat 2-5-17. And Eagle Hawk have kicked 5 goals in a row to lead 9-2-56 to Golden Square 3-2-20. In the North Central Football League, Calder United Lions 6-4-40 leading Sea Lake 4-9-33. Birchip Watcham have hit 100 points. Donald haven't registered a score as of yet. And Wedderburn 9-8-62 to St Arnott 1-6. That is going on. Some good games of footy around. But here at the QEO, it's half-time. Sandhurst 8-3-51. Castlemaine 4-4-28. Stick around for a big second half to come here from the QEO. 5:25, local fresh footy.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Kaiser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas, they design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Kaiser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Kaiser, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and strength training, building strength with precision.
He goes in the Fergus Green direction. He used his body, but he dropped the mark, did Fergus. Handball's back to Eureka. Eureka snaps the first goal in the grand final. Ball up. Blake knocks it down. Bernacki emerges with it. He gets space. He gets the goals open. Up Brett Bernacki.
Another turnover now. Handball for Connick. He gives it to Free. Runs to 50 and slots it. Fergus Green will go long. There's 2 Sandhurst players and 2 Dogs. It's 30 still out. Curno's got the footy. Ball over the top to Joel. There and around, getting involved with the footy was Lynch. Inside forward 50 now for the Dogs. Running through was Merritts. And goal.
Back in the middle. One down. Tarju will get the clearance. He'll accelerate away. He has a bounce. He then rolls inside forward 50 for the instant reply. Lachlan Tarju. Handball out. Maxted's kick smothered. Knock forward for the Dogs. Going through to with Dennehy. Dennehy gave it to Lakey. Lakey bends the ball back around. It's up forward by Dennehy. Can he have a 5-minute burst like he did last week? It's taken by the Dogs. It's Matt Merritt. It's the goal! To the bounce. He'll then send it inside forward 50. Big moment for this one. Taken knocked away. Inside forward 50 they go. Eureka at the front of the pack. They knock it forward, the Dragons. It'll come to Green. Green will fire at goalwards, and Fergus Green kicks the goal. That may
Wing, swimming pool side, big pack of the Dragons win the flag.
Live 25 local fresh footy back here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. It is Sandhurst 8-3-51 to Castlemaine 4-4-28. A good game of footy growing here, and there's a pretty healthy crowd in attendance as well. Around the grounds, Gisborne 12-8-80 leading Kangaroo Flat 2-6-18. Golden Square 3-2-20 Trail Eagle Hawk 10-2-62. But the big game that I'm looking at the moment, John Hunter, South Bendigo 7-5-47 leading the Storm 3-11-29. An inaccurate Strath Storm, but a positive first half for the Bloods.
How you going throwing those chips down? Look at you, all you blokes eating in front of me like this. But no,
actually caught me off guard. I thought the song had a couple of minutes left in it.
I've actually, before we go there, we've got Jackson Saunders. What's his name? Joel Peterson. He's been having a look at some of the other games in Bendigo. So I'll give you a bit of a summary of that if you like first, and enable you to take your breath there, Cam. So a scrappy game at Kangaroo Flat. Late in the first quarter, the Dogs 5-3-33 to Kangaroo Flat, 4 behinds. This is Gisborne. And Joel tells us it was a very average spectacle, but the Dogs were getting on top. And also in the netball, Flat were 6 goals up halfway through the second. Nick Lang, who's back for Kangaroo Flat, is playing fullback for the Roos. So that's an interesting move. Obviously, he's a mobile ruckman. And also, he's had a look at Eagle Hawk and Golden Square. It was halfway through the second term that he gave us this. It was 8-2 to 3-2, which I think you will allude to as well. And it appears that the Hawks were dominating in the midfield. So getting back to what you were asking me.
Well, it looks like that Eagle Hawk kicked 6 goals. Might help if I put that on properly. Looked like Eagle Hawk had kicked 6 goals in a row in that game as well. So it was quite even at 3-2-20 apiece, which Jackson made reference to at one stage there. So, also in the North Central Footy League, Johnny, it's a good game going on there. We talked about the Colding United Lions. They are 6-5-41 leading Sea Lake 4-9-33. It looks like it might be a rough year for the Donald senior side. They're 2 behinds. Birchip Watcham 16-13, 109, and Wedderburn leading St Arnaud by 64 points. Any of those scores really catching your eye there, Metro? We obviously know you've had a lot to do with North Central footy.
Well, my old mob there that's joined Witchyproof and Nullawal, forming that Calder Lions. Sea Lake were a fair bit ahead of what we were last year, teams. So that's quite a good scoreline there. They had hopes that they'll be able to compete at that level, so proving to be the case, which is great. But I do know that Jenkins and young Brownless aren't playing today, so come end of year, if those two are in, that dramatically changes that team.
Half-time in the Heathcote League, thanks to Wayne Smith. Mount Pleasant 13-6-74 Mount Pleasant, Heathcote 5-5-35. Maryborough Castlemaine Footy League score, Carisbrook 8 goals 6 leading Newstead 4 goals 1 at half time, and it is Navarre 6-4-40 leading there 3-7-25. So back to the Bendigo Footy League, Johnny. We're talking about South Bendigo before. Impressive first half for them. Can they hold on to it? Before I answer that, it is also Denali trailing 3 goals 5 to Trentham 10 goals 7.
Yeah, so your question about South Bendigo?
They look good in the first half from the scoreline.
Well, they do, and considering
more of a statement than a question.
Oh no, I thought you were asking me a question about whether I thought they would hang on or not.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Go with it.
I'm not ready to give up on the Storm.
Yeah, I am.
You are?
Yep, Bloods have got it.
Put a line through
already?
Yep.
Well, I gave the disclaimer at the start of the broadcast. Well, remember what I said? I always write the Storm off, Metro, and they continue to prove otherwise. So, well, it's only early days yet. We're half time in all games in the Bendigo Football League. So, South Bendigo, they've recruited well. It's a hot day. It's a good day for football. So, actually, this second term will be telling right across Central Victoria, won't it? It'll come down to fitness. It'll come down to leg speed, and it'll come down to a lot of factors.
We're going to get a repeat of round 1 in the AFL. It's going to be cramp round in the second half.
Jackson Saunders at ground level.
I've just been out to the centre circle, or this pitch as it was a few weeks ago in the cricket, and still pretty hard, admittedly. So for the second weekend of April, the Queen Elizabeth Oval surface is harder than it would usually be at this time of the year. Sandhurst were out onto the field first from the change rooms at half-time. Castlemaine have just emerged from the swimming pool rooms. Still a big crowd here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. Really looking forward to this second half. Obviously the temperature's nudging 30 and it's very testing conditions for the players in round one this afternoon.
Now, Metro, how do you see this game? Do you see Castlemaine as being disappointed? But I can tell you, it's only half-time, they've lost one of their key recruits with a bad hamstring in Josh Eyre. He went off in that first term. Hence the reason we weren't calling him. I was wondering why we weren't.
Yeah, no, that'll definitely be a loss. He's a quality player. Provides a bit of run, and on this warm day will be sorely missed. Look, it's a 4-goal difference, but Castlemaine aren't far behind in this game of footy at all. We've seen a period there, probably for the first 2/3 of the quarter, Sandhurst started to get the centre clearance work going. They were winning the ball from the stoppages and running in numbers, sharing it by hand, and were all over Castlemaine. And then getting towards the back end, Castlemaine actually turned the tables and they started to do that back and were creating scoring opportunities, and you could tell, we spoke about it during the call, I think Sandhurst identified that more, maybe the coaching staff or the word or some of the on-ground leaders, and there was a clear decision to take possession, slow and chip it round, and actually what it did, they were patient and it opened up a couple opportunities and they scored off the back of that, just changing that momentum at times. And as a player, I know that's really hard in the moment to actually do it, so it's something definitely will be either given instruction to or they've trained or spoken about. And no matter how well you're going or how poor you're going, you always get periods of game where you have momentum or the opposition do. So I thought that was really smart play by the Dragons to identify it, execute it, and then we're able to score on the back of it and help keep that little lead.
Now, we've watched a lot of Bendigo football, of course, but that bit of play that you're talking about, in my mind, that was the purest form of what they do at the highest level in AFL in the dying moments of a term. It reminded me of sitting at the top of the MCG and watching down, and the execution was just perfect. It was going back and forth in that almost in that horseshoe shape until it did open up. And Castlemaine, I think they're aware to it, but because it was executed so beautifully, they just couldn't do anything about it.
Normally as you go down levels of football, you don't do that because your skill level and execution's not quite there, and it'll cost you a goal. But having the bravery to do it, and they executed, and they got the rewards.
Class act.
And I hope, look, Castlemaine turned a couple over on some risky call, but they were positive plays, so I hope the coach gets out there and throws his weight around again, and they keep taking that inboard kick and avoid kicking it to the half-forward line.
For the second half, live 25 local fresh footy. Let's get things underway. Here's Cam Power, Sandhurst versus Castlemaine at the QEO in round one.
Coghlan emerges with the footy straight out of the middle into Cooper Smith. Cooper Smith inside forward 50, Robinson underneath it, and this would be a fast start for Sandhurst. 3 disposals and they're lining up for the first goal of the third quarter.
Castlemaine's half-back flanker attacked the ball carrier from the centre clearance and it created that overlap, and they've been able to work it to Robinson in the pocket.
So Robinson, 40 metres out when he releases the footy, goes goalwards, it falls shallow, comes off hands for a minor score, which will move Sandhurst to 52, Castlemaine 28, 40 seconds gone, third quarter.
So bringing the ball into play will be Ryan Eyre. He'll spread it wide and short to Henderson underneath the scoreboard. Henderson hasn't got much on offer. He wants to bring it down the swimming pool side. Now, I'm not sure if I like the option. It was aggressive. It was a poor kick. Stagg got a shocking corky and emerged sore. Sandhurst will win it through the middle though. It's a long ball on the left and it's a goal. It was Brougham, Will Brougham, number 12, comes into the side this year, and that was a good finish. And that takes, you told me something else, it was somebody else, Metro?
No, Brom, definitely Brom, yeah.
So that takes Sandhurst to 9-5-52. They lead 4-4-28. Live 25, local fresh footy, score sponsor, Aussie Disposals.
A great goal by Will Brom, and no breeze in this third term as well.
Now, that was the kick I was talking about that I championed them to keep trying and persevere with. Once again, they didn't quite execute that time, but it was positive play, and you're not going to win games or improve unless you start challenging yourself and taking some risks.
Note around Sandhurst, Will Brome, previous stint here, but his first senior game this afternoon, and it bags his first goal. Tardew out to Coughlin, he's getting busy. He'll send it up towards centre half forward to a one-on-one contest. Great mark taken. Strong grab that. It was Tom Campbell, the new recruit. Good looking kick inside. Schmetzer's holding on to an ankle here. Looks like he's come off second best in that contest. Sandhurst still emerge with the footy. Cooper Smith gets it. He reads the ball, sends it goalwards, minus score.
Great by Tommy Campbell there. I watched him do that week in, week out in the North Central, and to see how he goes against better opposition be interesting. That was a great contested mark.
59 playing 28, 2.5 minutes gone. Third quarter, Sandhurst in front.
Eyre will restart things from full-back. Shields his son from the eyes. This is Ryan Eyre. Of course, his brother Joshua was out with a bad hamstring in the first term. Eyre plays on. He sends it a long ball well beyond 50 swimming pool sides. He hits Bolter, the big man. Short pass forward to Wilkinson. Handball forward. Now they emerge. Chester, he goes long. Inside forward 50. Shallow. Hartley, handball over the top. Looks for Watson. Ground level. 51 from home. In front of the club rooms on the swimming pool side, Barnard Street end. We've got a stoppage, and umpire Williamson will ball it up. 59 playing 28, Sandhurst lead.
Ball up, goes back over towards the boundary line. Philo emerges with the footy, just found a way through. Sends it forward, bouncing off hands. It's picked up by Sheehan. He'll send it goalwards from the tough angle. Might have been looking more to centre it up. Bounced over the head of its intended target down there, which was Greaves, and Sandhurst can emerge with the footy. Keating trapped it nicely. Then he handballs off. Now they're away with a bit of run here. The run came from Mills. Mills on the outside of the foot's kick was nice. Wilkinson's got it. He has one bounce. Has plenty of time to steady. Hits the short pass. Robinson from 50. He goes on the right, and he's kicked, well, he went goalwards, and you can see Fergus Green is saying, kick the ball up, give me a chance. Byrne takes the mark, standing in front. They clear it out to Wilkinson. Wilkinson into the middle of the ground, finds Philo.
In fact, it was Watson. Now Philo. Philo, he goes short. Looks for Sheen. Sheen gets one too high. He had his head over the footy. Was probably there. He'll come laterally into the centre of the QEO. Finds Ryan Eyre, defensive side of the centre to the Barnard Street end. Short pass again laterally. Sutherland of the Magpies, 15-metre ball, a little bit lackadaisical. It was Greaves, goes long, went to Byrne. In fact, it wasn't. It was, they all look alike. Hunter Staples goes inside forward 50, and this is Wilkinson. Wilkinson, an unusual forward. He's usually down back. I don't think he's got the journey, Mitro, at 51 metres.
It'd be an ask. His body language suggests he wants to pass here.
That he does. He goes into the pocket. It was a lead, but good defensive punch. There were 3 Dragons in that punch. It was Tardrew on that occasion who got his fist on it, puts it over the boundary line. 25 metres out from goal. Forward pocket, Barnard Street in. Broadcast side, which is the grandstand side, 59 playing 28. Sandhurst lead. 6 minutes into the third term, QEO round 1 on the Bendigo Football Netball League.
Hartley first hands to it. Maxted was at ground level, gave it to Tardew. Tardew's kick out of defence. Schmetzer with a clear push in the back to his opponent in front of him. And it will go the way of Bolter. Bolter handballs to Henderson. He shells some candy, then gets away from Schmetzer. Then he ran himself into all sorts of pressure, but only Bailey Henderson could manage to get himself out of that and hit the pass to a player inside forward 50. That's Matt Philo, who's 50 metres out from goal when he releases the footy.
He's a Philo. You know what that means, don't you?
He's a good chance of kicking
passing.
it. So he comes in on the right. He goes goalwards, and it never looked in doubt. Matt Philo with an absolute bomb from 50. And Castlemaine get the all-important first goal of the third quarter. And they get the margin slightly back into their advantage here, Castlemaine. They now move along to 5-4-34. Sandhurst 9-5-59. 6 minutes played, third quarter. Score sponsor Aussie Disposals. Live 25. Local fresh footy.
Yeah, great play there. It'd be lovely if they can back that up with a clearance here, because in the second quarter and the start of this one, the Dragons have been getting that ball out of the middle from these stoppages. So if Castlemaine can get one out here and back that one up, we got game on.
Half-time MCDFNL Harcourt 18 goals 7, leading Campbell's Creek 1 goal 3.
Patrick Bolter, he's a big man. Not the perfect conditions for him on this occasion. It'll be Sandhurst that, well, I thought they were going to win out of the middle. Then it's a soccer off the ground. It went forward through Chester to Castlemaine. So, in fact, they go forward. And a free kick goes to Harrison Free across half back for the Dragons. He looks automatically poolside. Must be an instruction. Short pass forward. Finds Mills. Mills short pass forward again to Tardru. He's got Mills running on. It was a handball. Now it's a long ball inside forward 50. They set themselves. Jumped high, jumped early. Bailey Henderson of the Magpies gets 50. He was retarded. Tried to bring him to the ground and now it goes 50. He was retarded.
That's the second cheap free that Smets has given away, actually.
Yeah, just didn't need to do it. Henderson gets the ball inside forward 50 and there's a free kick which has been picked. It's going to be a Sandhurst ball. They take the advantage. They clear the kick out to Lockie Hood. Hood has it centre wing position. Slows things down, then goes a short pass. Oh, and he just slipped over at the critical moment there, did Ollie Morris. And he almost looked like a slips fielder trying to go for a diving catch in the slips there the way he went down, and he almost plucked it but knocked it over the boundary line. True centre wing position, grandstand side, 59 playing 34. Boundary umpire's throwing was very shallow. Probably should recall that one back. They're not going to. Collins got there first. Gave it to Philo, who was tackled upon straight away, and we'll have another ball up.
I actually think the umpiring's been pretty good this afternoon.
Yeah, very good.
Haven't really noticed them, which is a good thing. Nothing really stands out, except for umpire Williamson play. What number?
532.
And he's probably done more than that as a younger man in lower grades as well. You just never know. As we're treading water here, it's a stoppage. It's an ugly bit of play. And just forward of centre wing, Castlemaine in attack, broadcast side, to kick into the Barnard Street end. No real advantage to either end. Bolter was just too strong and too big. Handballs at forward. Looks for McConaughey. He ended up with the footy. Also getting involved there was Fajo Jr. Gave it off, and Philo getting involved, received the handball, and the kick goes to Greaves in the pocket. And they play this
from McConaughey.
McConaughey?
Yeah, the kick was really good from McConaughey to get Greaves on the lead.
Well, he's paid the big bucks to kick goals, so let's see him kick goals, Mitro.
That's what you got to do. You mark it, you're in range, take a big breath, get the heart rate down and go through your routine.
He's on the boundary line. He's a goal kicker. Plays on, opens up the angle. In fact, he didn't have a shot at the goal. He kicks it to the pack. It spills to the front. Under pressure here, the Dragons. It will be a stoppage. A lot of players around the footy. 20 metres out from Castlemaine goal. Ball up.
Using the stand rule to his advantage, run around. I would like to see him have a shot then, back himself.
Yeah.
It almost worked out though, as the kick almost favoured Hartley. Wilkinson's taken in the tackle as soon as he received the ball.
You're saying it's hard not to kick the coach when he's there?
Hartley out of the ruck. Grabbed it and kicked it towards the boundary line. It went out of bounds. There's a little bit of push and shove here between Hartley and Collins. Interesting that Metro Collins has done a lot more of the ruck work for Sandhurst, where Castlemaine have been really sharing the ruck work duties between Hartley.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see a few more changes from Sandhurst in that area, actually.
Well, if it's working, why change it? Sandhurst worked their way to Ireland via the handball. Ireland's kick is just a no-looker, and it should fall to the advantage of Castlemaine, and it does.
Rickson.
Able to spin his way around out of trouble there was young Archie Rickson. Rickson's kick inside forward 50. Sandhurst mark taken. Free kick, though, is going the way of Castlemaine. That should be 50, and I think it will be 50. The player there, Coughlin, he knew the free kick was going to Philo, and he just threw the ball back, and it was nowhere near that Philo. Like, that's just a simple error. It was always going to be paid 50, and it'll roll into an open goal for Matty Philo. He'll put through his second goal once he gets there. He's taking his time to get there. But in terms of decisions for Jeff Williamson, that might be the easiest one he makes today. And, well, good luck if you want that footy back, because it's on the highway. He's absolutely booted that one out of the stadium, as they call it. That's a home run. And we're back to 19 points. 6-4-40. Sandhurst 59. 19-point margin. Score sponsored Jason Westcott Builder. Live 25. Local fresh footy. Jackson Saunders at ground level.
There's been no sight of Callan Huntley for Castlemaine in this third term, so I'll keep an eye on that one. I've heard that he may have done an injury, so that's a bit of a blow for Castlemaine if that is is the case. Breeze has picked up slightly, but very minimal at the moment, still to the city end.
Well, that's interesting on the injury report, because if that's their second one, and on a warm day, if the rotations go, that will actually play a bit of impact in that last term, you'd think.
He's a runner and influential as well.
The last 5-6 minutes, Castlemaine have really got themselves back in this contest. Their pressure and work rate's great, and they've been able to finish on that occasion, even though through poor discipline, but they did the hard work and got the ball in their hands and were able to capitalise. So I feel like Sandhurst better be on their toes here. If they don't get something going back that other way, then the belief and the confidence grows in the opposition, and you allow it to get bigger and bigger.
The only two Castlemaine players on the bench at the moment are Tyson Hickey and William Marks, and Bryce Curnow, the Dragons coach, has just torpedoed a replacement ball out. I'm not sure where the other one went. Perhaps it's been salvaged on Barnard Street.
Well, I think it would have landed in someone's car on the opposite street, Jackson, and they might have continued to drive off with it.
Schmetzer wins the ruck tap for the Dragons, but Castlemaine, they might emerge here. Bolter just hasn't got the foot pace to go with Tardru, who won the footy. Don't argue. Handball gave it up to Cal McConaughey. Handball into the middle. They're working nicely forward through Staples. It was a poor kick though. Smothered, slewed, and now a bit of vigour going on halfway between the centre and half forward for Castlemaine. Umpire gets involved, umpire Dale Corbell, and says, I'm going to adjudicate and throw it up. 59 playing 40, 19-point margin, Sandhurst lead halfway through the third term.
Bolted down to McConaughey. McConaughey's kick was smothered and it just bounced around in the pack. Castlemaine, they've got a little bit of run and momentum in this game at the moment. They try and charge their way forward, but they're unable to find their way through. Just how much longer will that run last if they've only got 2 rotations on that bench? Ball up, comes to the bottom. McConaughey played for a free kick, didn't get it. Then hit the bottom of the pack and followed up with a strong tackle. Harrison free on the bottom of that pack for Sandhurst. 50 out from goal. Say Schmetzer got the first hands on that one. He won it down. Smith went with the footy, couldn't take it. Coughlin was very clever. He just burrowed in, picked up the ball. He found the kick out wide into the hands of Keating. Keating will then go the short pass over the top. Finds its way inside forward 50 from Sandhurst. It goes in, they'll all fly, comes off hands. Stagg's in there, hits the bottom of the pack. Stagg was too strong. He shrugged his way out of a tackle. Handball off. It's going to be a flying, snapping goal, and Lockie Hood puts it through. 25 metres out, only just over the head of the player on the goal line. And it's a big goal for Sandhurst, probably against the run of play in the last 10 minutes of here. Lockie Hood gets his first, and it is back out to a 25-point margin. 10-5-65, playing Castlemaine 6-4-40. 15 gone third quarter. Score sponsor, Don Smallgoods. Don is good.
It's South Bendigo 7-5-47 leading Strathfield Say 3-11-29. Gisborne 13-9-87 over Kangaroo Flat 2-6-18.
But that goal there took hard work from Coughlin. No one was prepared to get in over the ball. He just scrubbed it out. But what Jack Keating did, your temptation in Bendigo footy is just to turn and go, run and gun a little bit. If he did that, he would have kicked long to a contest down the line. He just paused, looked inboard, and he found the bloke free in the middle of the ground, and then just totally changed the way the ball could get moved into the forward line.
And at Wade Street, it is Eagle Hawk 10 goals 3-63 over Golden Square 3-3-21. So a couple of one-sided encounters in the Bendigo Footy League opening round. Gisborne and Eagle Hawk leading easily in their respective games.
Don't like to see that, do we? Like to see a close game. So back into the middle now. Just waited for the footy to get retrieved. So Collins has come into the middle for Sandhurst to come up against Bolter, the big magpie. Umpire Williamson will ball it up. Up they go. Collins did well. He won the tap, put it in the path of Wilkinson, that's Matthew, but he was besieged by 2 magpies.
We haven't seen a bloke in a Castlemaine jumper that big since Mark Oxley.
You're probably right. The big Ox is plays allowed to go on. It was a play on from Sandhurst, and the big man's injured. Keep an eye on that, Jackson Saunders, as Bolter comes off. As the ball went inside forward 50 for Sandhurst and went over the boundary line, and we'll have a ball in 35 from home. So 25-point margin, Sandhurst lead. They are in attack, and we've gone halfway through this third term. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Throw in inside the forward. Just watching the bench rotations. It's chaos down there for Castlemaine at the moment. Clearing kick out of defence from them will be turned over. It'll be sent back in from Lockie Wright, who's taking the mark. So Wright's 60 from goal on the right. Sends a bit of a helicopter pass. It almost came into the hands of Wilkinson. He spilt it. In the end, he probably should have nearly marked it. I don't think he was expecting it. And we'll have a ball up because the ball's hit the bottom of the pack. 25 out, directly in front of goal for Sandhurst. 25 points to the good. Dropping the footy in there was Rickson. He got away with it. Umpire probably didn't get a good look of it because there's a mass pack of players around this one. And we'll have a ball up right on the top of the goal square. Johnny Hunter.
And it'll be umpire Goodridge at the teeth of goal for Sandhurst. Castlemaine would do well to kill it. They try to and do effectively for a minor score. So it's gone to a 26-point margin, 17 minutes gone, third term, live 25, a local fresh footy.
I'm wondering if it's cramps for Patrick Bolter. He continues to walk along trying to, I guess, be free-flowing, bit ginger still though.
So Air plays on, kicks the ball down towards Hartley. Strong mark taken by Hartley on his right. He's got a little option over the top and he finds its way to Sheehan. Sheehan for the Magpies, centre wing position. Looking to try and come in board. Eventually he does just that with the pass to Philo. Philo handballs backwards. Now they try and work their way through the Magpies. Short pass is not great. Hood got back there first for Sandhurst, forced the turnover. It came to Connick. Connick's kick into the middle of the ground. Should be turned over to Air. Air was good enough to collect. Handball to Philo, centre of the QEO. He'll bang it towards centre half forward. Going back with the flight was Hood. Couldn't quite take the mark. Wilkinson knocked it forward. It comes to Marks, and Marks' kick has gone out of bounds on the full. That was an absolute shank. He might have been pushed as he kicked it, which affected the kick, but it's missed the goals by about 20 metres.
We're going to keep a watch on Bolter there. With two already down, that's going to impact that ruck stocks. Means someone like Hartley will have to go into the ruck, which will take a genuine match winner out of the forward line.
Lockie Wright, short pass forward to Caleb Connick in the defensive arc of 50. Short pass along the boundary line. Back to Wright, who would run on. Still in the defensive arc in front of the club rooms, swimming pool side.
Sandhurst coach Bryce Kerno has just said Castlemaine are starting to cramp. Defend hard to the boys that are about to come onto the ground. Spread the message.
Turnover went, the kick from right of Sandhurst went straight to Henderson of Castlemaine, but just stepped over the boundary line, so we'll have a ball in out of side. And that they are, any Sandhurst players cramping as well? They just don't seem to be affected at the moment, Jackson?
I haven't noticed it as yet.
It'll come, you would think. Trying conditions. Umpire will throw it in. It'll be Collins versus Wilkinson of Castlemaine. Wilkinson taps it forward to Sheen. Sheen by hand forward to John Watson. Short pass was ineffective. Kicked it straight to Lockie Wright. And was it pay to mark, or the umpire said play on and he steps over the boundary line?
A lot of confusion there. The whistle did go, and
I think it's the latter. It's going to be a throw-in across half forward. Castlemaine in attack. They trail by 26, 20 minutes gone. Third term, live local footy, live 25. Did I get that, Cam?
No, you didn't.
live 25, local fresh footy.
There it is, throw in on the boundary. Castlemaine try and go backwards to go forwards, but they turn it over. Connick got the handball off the runner. Wilkinson chipped it further forward to Schmelzer. He can look to go inside forward 50 to Schmetzer. Going back with the flight, taking a nice mark of the Dragons. It's Connick again. Nice little pass inside forward 50. And Tarju on his own. Oh, he played on. And the smother came from Castlemaine. A rare error from Tarju. They're able to just get the handball out. No, it was a throw.
It's called a throw.
So Tarju,
or holding the ball, one or the other.
Well,
he tried to burst through.
Redeemed himself a little bit there with the kick because he just didn't quite catch who the Castlemaine players was with the smother there. But
comedy of errors.
Yeah, play the Benny Hill music, as they say.
You wouldn't even know who Benny Hill was, would you, Cam?
Yeah, he's a comedian of some sort. Who's got the footy?
Little fella from the Pioneers listed.
So it's Ollie Morris, who's 40 metres out directly in front of goal. Ollie Morris on the right, missed out on the grand final last year. His kick hits the post. Disappointing for him. But Sandhurst's lead is now at 27, 10-7, 67, playing Castlemaine 6-4, 40. 21 minutes gone in the third quarter.
John Watson played on from fullback and kicked it to Darby Simmons. They'll go swimming pool side. Riding shotgun there was Bailey Henderson. He gave it and then kicked it long to the outer side and just comes off hands and on true centre wing. Swimming pool side. Umpire Williamson getting involved here. He might say, in fact, it's gone out of bounds on the full. And that's exactly what's happened. So Lockie right now with the footy on centre wing with the penalty free kick for out of bounds on the full. He's unsure where to go. Castlemaine have flooded up. 15-metre kick forward to Wilkinson. He was met strongly by Sutherland of the Magpies, but Wilkinson of the Dragons. He comes laterally to Free. Free feigned a handball once, then he went for it to Keating. Keating of Sandhurst at the backside of the centre circle, then kicked it nicely. It was a good lead. It was Connick, goes by hand to Mills. Mills had enough time by hand back to Connick. Connick, oh, good fist there by Henderson, who's been very good for Castlemaine up back. Ball spills there to Stagg. Stagg over the top by hand. It was too severe for Campbell, and I just sensed that Sandhurst missed a chance there by giving up a free kick.
Yeah, definitely. I think they had that opportunity. Maybe the legs are starting to get a little bit tired at the moment.
It was Simmons that was rewarded for going hard at the footy, but Castlemaine have, well, I won't say what I was going to say, but they've stuffed this ball up. They'll handball it out wide. They might recover. They do. McConaughey can clear it out of defence. Philo will set himself and take a strong mark. Nelly flew, but Philo was strong enough to hold the mark. He then chips the short pass further forward. In the hands.
The junior.
Fijo Jr. on the far side of the ground. Ronald Fijo Jr.
Bolter back on.
Haven't seen too much of him in this game. Fijo Jr. Island got it for Sandhurst. Handball forward. Mills tapped it in the direction of Tarju. He picked it up. Then he handballed 20 metres forward, which is good to Wilkinson. Got it back. Now they emerge inside forward 50. The kick will favour the advantage of Byrne, who's done pretty well against Fergus Green today. Knocked it backwards. Henderson has kicked it out of bounds on the full. A rare error from Bailey Henderson.
Another poor entry from Sandhurst. Ferg's on one leg and they're kicking it low and hard. They need to just put the ball in the air when he's one-on-one to give him an opportunity.
Inside forward 50, James Colgan getting involved. He's been quiet today. Eventually ended up with Harrison Free. Handballs in to Sletcher. Goes over the top. The handball was neat to Morris. Morris will go around the corner. It went 60 up and 30 forward, and it slewed to the left, and it sneaks in for a minus score, which takes it to a 19-point margin Sandhurst way.
We look at that as another missed opportunity from Sandhurst, but Castlemaine's pressure was elite then. They just did not give up on the contest. Kept pressuring and pressuring every time, and they just didn't let him get out.
Short pass out found Moran. Moran goes even further shorter to Henderson.
Not sure where to go.
In fact, it's Simmons with that short buzzed haircut. Short pass. Watson. Watson back to Simmons. Oh, Watson overran the footy. That's a massive error. Coughlin pounces. Coughlin snaps around the body, and that is an absolute coach killer. John Watson fumbles. James Coughlin takes full advantage, and that is a big, big blow late in this final quarter. The premiership quarter, as they call it, and the reigning premiers lead by 34 points. 11-8-74, playing 6-4-40. Score sponsor, Aussie Disposals, Live 25, local fresh footy.
That does hurt. They done so much good work in the previous two plays to stop Sandhurst scoring a goal, and it feels like one of those little times it lets you down and they score. But Sandhurst, they kept knocking on the door. Third knock, the door opened.
Bryce Curnow has been very vocal in this third term, in particular as Sandhurst coach, but also encouraging of his players.
Father Jackson Saunders at ground level. The Bloods by 30 against Strath about 10 minutes into the third, and Clossy has done a shoulder for the Storm, so danger signs out there.
Yeah, they've got enough injuries, Strathfield say, without adding to that.
Back at the QEO, the ball has come out to the centre wing. Picked up there, it was kicked forward by Rickson. Rickson, a 40-metre ball. Philo now picked it up off the deck and goes on the left. He'll send it towards, well, it was a poor kick. It went straight to Tanner Nelly. of Sandhurst has been pretty serviceable down back and off half back. He's taken a mark and he's just sizing up his opportunities, Cam.
Thought about switching. He's going to come down the grandstand side, as they so often do, just to kick down the line. Got to the front, Wilkinson took the mark. Handball to Stagg. Stagg's got some movement. He'll go with an even shorter pass. Player turning around, wasn't really expecting it. Robinson and Fergus Green finally got one where he wants him. Burn over around the footy. Fergus Green stayed down, picked up the ball and kicked truly from 20 metres out directly in front. And well, it's a 40-point margin now. Green's got 4. 80 plays 40. Castlemaine, well, there's warning signs going around. Sandhurst in control. Score sponsor Jason Westcott, Builder Live 25. Local fresh footy.
Normally as the game goes on, round 1, we get tired, the game opens up. It's still sort of, it's quite contested through areas of the ground, but I think both teams are just starting to feel the pinch of the heat and being round 1 and just on the treadmill a little bit. But as this game goes on, I think you'll find if people can possess the ball, opportunity will come and it will open up at some stage.
Sandhurst, they're a class unit. I did pick them Metro before the start of the game, and I'm sticking with it. They're the premiership side and they're all class this afternoon. It's managed to work its way forward to half forward, in fact to 50 without a true possession. But a free kick goes to air for too high, the Magpies. Short pass to centre half back to Cal McConaughey. Magpies have got it across half back. Kick 40 forward. He kicks it to a contest at the back of the pack. Liam Wilkinson for the Magpies did well and takes a one-handed juggler. Now he spreads it wide with a long handball to Darby Simmons. He feigns. Good selling of the candy. Magpies will go forward and it was a poor kick. He's coughed it up and he's kicked it straight to the opposition. Darcy Mills will go short and forward and finds Lockie Tardrew.
And he does. I'm just watching off the ball. Charlie Robinson looks like he's really going into Bailey Henderson, just giving him a few nudges on that hand to make sure he's feeling okay by the looks of things. And Bailey doesn't seem to be liking it too much out there, Johnny Hunter. As the ball's emerged up towards half back, Sandhurst will clear the kick out of defence.
It's all good to do that sort of stuff, but when the ball comes, if Henderson marks it, well, you look like a bit of a dill, don't
well,
you?
You do.
Just get the ball.
True.
He's had a big work rate this afternoon, Henderson, as well.
With it. Smith handballs over the top. Now they'll look to send it inside forward 50, and they found themselves in trouble. Space. It'll be a short pass in, and all on his own underneath the scoreboard again is Charlie Robinson.
Well, he's given him a hassle, and now he doesn't look like a dill. He's took the mark.
In front of Bailey Henderson as well, so what kind of celebration do you reckon he'll give if he kicks this one on Bailey Henderson?
Well, he's pretty reserved. He's one of these reserves guys that have got an opportunity through hard work, so I think he'll keep a lid on it.
Underneath the scoreboard, 30 metres out, on a nice angle for a right footer, but he starts it to the right and it doesn't come back. Minus score. 41 points now the margin as we are deep into red time in this third quarter.
If Castlemaine want to be a top side, they need to dig deep, Metro. I know there might be difficult conditions, but Sandhurst have got exactly the same, so they might get a bit of a lesson here as the ball is just being fiddled around in the back half by Castlemaine, back and forth, and eventually ends up with Hickey. That's a horrible short pass. It was fortunate it goes there to Wilkinson. Handball forward to Matty Philo. Magpies away here. McConaughey over the top. It's to Fajo Jr. He's out. He goes inside forward 50. It's shallow. It's one-on-one. John Watson keeps his feet off a support. Stand up in it nicely as Greaves. Greaves goes to the top of the square. I reckon he should have had a shot at goal. And it was good bit of defensive play by Maxted, who managed to rush it through, and it's a minor score. 81 playing 41, 40-point margin, 30 minutes gone, third term.
Dragons waste no time bringing it in. Tarju just got his way around the Watson tackle, and well, it looked like a kick off the side of the boot, but I think he knew exactly what he was trying to do, and that was put it to the advantage of the Marcus Schmetzer, who was collected by the opposite 19, Sutherland. So he receives the free kick. Short pass, Wilkinson. I've been really impressed with Wilkinson's game today. He'll go with a shorter pass again to Connick. So Connick has it, centre wing position for Sandhurst. And that is three-quarter time, and it is the premiership quarter, and that's exactly what the Sandhurst Dragons did. A 40-point lead at three-quarter time, 12-9-81, playing Castlemaine 6-5-41. So it is a big margin for Castlemaine to overturn in this final quarter. And what overall has been a pretty good game of footy here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. So stick around for the final quarter. Can Castlemaine work their way back into the contest? It's a 40-point margin at three-quarter time. Live 25, local fresh footy.
Coming back now. Hard legs. There's two rotations of running players. The ruckman, I think that was cramped, but he come back out, but he was running like you chasing an Uber on Saturday night when he come back on. Tommy Campbell and Smith have played at lower. They've been good players at lower levels. They'll get better. They haven't adjusted. He's been all right though.
Live 25.
Live 25, local fresh footy from the Queen Elizabeth Oval. It is round one of the Bendigo Footy League. We're here for Sandhurst and Castlemaine. 40-point lead to Sandhurst, 12-9-81. Castlemaine 6-5. 41, Cam Power, John Hunter, Wayne Mitrovic here at the ground broadcast team. Jackson Saunders down on ground level as well. Around the grounds in Bendigo footy, the Blood, South Bendigo, they are on for an impressive start to season 25. 10-7-67 to the Storm, 5 goals, 12. Kangaroo Flat 2-7-19, Gisborne 19-11, 125. Golden Square 6-5-41 to Eaglehawk 11-4, 70. Strathfield say have kicked 3 goals on the bounce though at Harry Trott to bring that back to a 67, playing 52, so 15-point margin there at three-quarter time. in favour of the Bloods, thanks to Joel Peterson, who is providing updates out there at Harry Trott. The goal kickers in this game here at the QEO, Fergus Greens kicked 4 singles to Lockie Hood, Lockie Wright, Caleb Connick, Matty Wilkinson, Hugh Smetzer, Charlie Robinson and James Coghlan, while for the Magpies, Matt Philo kicked 2 goals in that quarter, while Castlemaine have also got singles from Hartley, Watson, Will Moran and Hunter Staples. Having a look at the better players, we'll start with Sandhurst because it's probably the easier of the jobs at the moment. With a 40-point lead, it's Wayne Mitrovic.
I think their ability to run the ball and share by hand, they've actually, if you look at it, I think another thing they've worked on is the forward handball. So when they take a mark, they're not handballing to someone behind, they're waiting to get past the mark and use that space in front. And the bloke's orchestrating that run, and that handballing is probably Tarju starting to come into it after a really quiet first quarter. Cooper Smith and Wilkinson's continuing on some really good form, racking it up. And I feel like the half-back line at Sandhurst, they're not getting high touches, but if Castlemaine want to move the ball and kick long down the line, they're just killing it every time. So Castlemaine need to lower the eyes, take the ball short, 20-metre kick and get over that line, because when they do and get it in, they actually look dangerous when they get into their 50 quick. I reckon 60, 70 out, wheel and go and just get it into Hartley and give him a crack.
Jackson Saunders at ground level.
So Cal Huntley is done for the day. He's concussed, so 2 down, obviously with that Josh Eyre injury as well. The Castlemaine coach, Michael Hartley, was disappointed at 3/4 times, so they seemed down was the spirit. There was a word I can't repeat on air that was used a lot there. Frustrated in the huddle. As for Sandhurst, well, Bryce Curnow, the coach, is thrilled. He's saying, make them defend in this last term. I'll give you more shortly. So
Bolter's gone out of the ruck and they've had to put Hartley in.
Live 25 local fresh footy, the final quarter from the QEO. Here's John Hunter.
So Sandhurst are going to win it out of the middle. Tardrew on the end of the handball it forward and went to Pinniger. He goes long and wide and it will go out of bounds. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jackson, the concussion protocols apply next week, so that'll see out next week for Cal Huntley.
Yes, I think that's right. That's a bit of a blow for the Magpies, and for Sandhurst, other focuses in this last term: slow the game down inside 50, make the most of those opportunities, and the kick-ins and zones have been working good, so they want to continue working on that and just enjoy the last term.
McConaughey went through for Castlemaine in the contest. Didn't really miss too much there. We'll have a repeat ball up. Navarre and Maryborough Giants playing a good game in the Maryborough Castlemaine League. Navarre 8-8-56 to the Giants 4-10-34. And in the Heathcote District Footy League at 3/4 time, Mount Pleasant 20-10 130, leading Heathcote 5-7-37, Lennon Shannon 5 and Bennett 4 for Heathcote.
And the Storm, 67 plays 52 out there now, so it's closing right in for the Bloods, and Clossy of the Storm has gone to hospital with that shoulder. So a couple of injuries around in the Bendigo Football Netball League in round 1.
Yeah, real tough signs for Storm, already undermanned now, losing their captain as well. Let's hope that's not too bad for Daniel Clossy, their vice captain as well, I should say. Back here at the QEO, Sandhurst have worked their ball into the middle. It's in the hands of Mills. Mills sends it up towards centre half forward, no mark taken. It's actually Keating, I should say, sorry. It works out of hands. It's taken by Smith. Cooper Smith handballs off. Now it spills out. Schmetzer's going to get the flying shot out of there, and the big start to the final quarter. Hugh Schmetzer is showing his worth as a recruit for Sandhurst. He's kicked 2 in this game, but he could have easily had 3 or 4. He's also got 2 behinds to his name. And the Dragons, they're increasing their margin. 46 points they lead this game by. 39-87, playing 6-5-41. Score sponsor, Jason Westcott Builder, Live 25, local fresh food.
Yes, Schmetzer, the late recruit, only in the last couple of weeks. We don't know how long he's been in the barrel for, but adjusting to the pace of the game nicely. I thought he came into it last quarter. It looks like he's continuing on that way in the last.
You're buying or selling your stocks in Castlemaine overall. What are you seeing, Metro? Do you see anything you like or dislike that sticks out?
I think they're competitive. They're taking the game on. They're playing positively. They've made some errors which have resulted in goals, but I think stick at it.
Back in the middle, it's Collins wins the tap to Tardrew of the Dragons. Will send it forward now, shallow inside forward 50. Rebounding ball, Brodie Byrne of the Magpies. Gave it to McConaughey by hand and tried to handball it back. They're just under pressure here, Castlemaine. They will get away with it, I think, through Staples. It was a kick that went to the coach, Hartley to Greaves. Greaves handball forward to Moran's cramped up. He kicked it on 50. And the ball spills wide into the pocket. Liam Ireland kept it in. I don't know what he was thinking. He had the opportunity to kill it, and grabbing the footy there quickly was Marks for the Magpies. Had a shot at goal. It's still alive. I don't know why they didn't kill it at all, but they're going to get away with it. Maybe they know a lot more than me. A series of handballs end up with Connick. Connick short pass. They did it well to Wilkinson. Wilkinson kicked it out of bounds on the full. And just when you think it's safe to go back in the water, they're in danger again. It's going to be a free kick, Metro.
Just step over the line and make some attempt.
Did I see that right? Yeah.
He should have. Ireland should have done it. Wilkins should have done it then.
Well, I've never seen the Benny Hill show, as we discovered earlier, but it could have been applied, that theme song there, as Castlemaine worked the ball inside forward 50. Ireland goes up, dropped the mark. It's picked up by Bolter. Bolter kicks the goal.
Cramped as well when he kicked it.
Yes,
So Bolter kicks the goal. Ireland will be disappointed he didn't hold that mark. 7-5-47, playing 13-9-87, 40 points the margin. Score sponsor is Don, is good. Local 25. Live 25. Local fresh footy.
Spit it out.
That's it. Got it. Bang. Look, three uncharacteristic errors there by the Dragons resulted in the goal, Castlemaine. So you don't see that very often, but you know, we're always learning. But let's just say it's round one, still bloody hot, and they're going to make some mistakes now. Even by decision making, there's going to be something. But yeah, looking good so far for the Dragons.
And we've got our Bendigo City Framers $100 award we have to award this afternoon, our sponsor, so keep that in mind, Metro. We'll make a decision straight after the game is finished, as Sandhurst moved it nicely. They worked it forward, and a mark has been taken on half forward by Hugh Smetzer. He's probably a candidate for that $100 voucher from Bendigo City Framers, our sponsor, carried on from last year.
No, definitely. Like we said, he's come more prominent as the game's worn on.
I don't think it's going to be anyone from the side that you're looking at the better players at the moment, Johnny.
Well, probably Henderson's been their best, I'd say, overall, but you're right.
He's been as good as anyone on the ground.
Schmetzer now, 45-degree angle. He's going to have to kick it 50. It's off the side of the boot. It's not going to, it might make the distance fall short, but it's wide. It'll be Castlemaine. They might be able to relieve the pressure, and they are struggling a little bit. As I said, Will Moran just before started to cramp as well. They've somehow moved it beyond 50, but Sandhurst take control now. It'll go forward inside 50. Poor kick. Tired players to John Watson of the Magpies. Spreads it wide to Staples. Plays on. Will have a couple of bounces. Trots down the broadcast side. Handball forward. He gives it to Fajo Jr. He kicked it out of bounds on the full, looking for Greaves.
That's a 10-15 metre basic skill error. They'll be disappointed with that. Smith works the ball back into the middle for the Magpies. After Sandhurst, they quickly get it to free. He's had a couple of those today. Fojo Jr., where he's just turned the ball over. Mills is in the middle of the ground at the QEO. Pinpoint pass to Stagg. Stagg 65 from home. Central of the QEO. Running past looking for the handball was Smith. He decided not to get it. He wheels out on an arc on the right foot. Will send it in towards the hot spot. Needs someone to fly. And a free kick's been pulled. It's going to go the way of Castlemaine.
Just took too long there. When you're 60 out, just allows opposition to flood back and put numbers in.
It's going to go to Brodie Byrne.
Byrne will go from one back pocket to the other to Darby Simmons, and they'll look broadcast side. The kick was to Fajo Jr. He's tackled. No intensity there. Well, the intensity was good from the tackler. But it is in fact going to be either a ball up or a ball in. It's a ball up.
Ball up. Still 28 degrees too, Johnny's. I'll tell you what, the Sandhurst Football Netball Club will be doing well with bar sales today.
You would think so, as Hartley did the ruck work for Castlemaine and then put it out of bounds. Give some thought to who you think the best player on the ground for our sponsor, Bendigo City Framers, for a $100 voucher to Father Jackson, because there's been quite a few good players, particularly for Sandhurst.
I've really liked James Coughlin's game.
Yeah, I haven't called him a lot, but he's done a lot of hard work behind the scenes. As Greaves, Magpies, getting involved over the top. AJ Jr. now picked it up. He shrugged a tackle. Now a kick it along the boundary line. In fact, he's kicked his second in a row out of bounds on the fall, and the finish is just not there.
No, he's really struggled today, Fojo Jr., and you can see he's really disappointed in himself there.
But fitness thing.
The thing Castlemaine have just been content to play the boundary line all day. They haven't looked to go corridor at all really today, I don't think. And Sandhurst, when they've turned the ball over, they've been able to go corridor, which is what they're kind of doing at the moment.
Metro, he's come here with a big reputation and I dare say a little bit of coin. So
Nally in the middle, works it forward. It sits up and bounces for Hood. Hood then handballs off to Smith, who's in contention for that Sponsors Award this afternoon. Inside forward 50 they go. Castlemaine will get the ball in defence. Cleared out of there. Out of defence they go, but it's going to be coming straight back because Hood's got it. Hood handballs off. Now they'll look to go back inside forward 50 again. Right to Wilkinson. Wilkinson's got to be in consideration for my liking too, and that's a beautiful pass. Schmetzer comes out and meets it nicely above his head like a good full forward should be doing, and he'll kick the ball from right on where the 5 and the 0 meet the 50-metre arc. So about 20 metres in from the boundary, lining up for goal number 3 for Hugh Schmetzer.
A lot better ball use then by Sandhurst going forward. More traditional. Forward, lead up at the ball, into the space that's provided, and the kicker put the ball in front.
he's like a tall Joel Wharton, isn't he?
He's moving really well. He
Yeah.
looks like a natural forward. Don't know what his ratio of ruck forward was, where he was playing, but
On the right, sends it goalwards. It starts to the left and it goes over for a minor score. Might have been assisted over.
he was
So we'll mark
spoken
it down
about as coming in as a ruckman, but I think he looks like a forward from what I can see in the second half.
Oh, I think you're 100% right. He knows where they are and he just knows where to position himself. Now, Castlemaine, they're trying to build again. Brodie Byrne, short pass. He'll hit up Rickson. Rickson, an attacking ball, went into the corridor, was safe to Semmons. Semmons, defensive side of the centre circle. In fact, it's Sutherland. Sutherland on the left. He'll spread it wide. Hickey, handball on. They're trying to build something here. Darby Semmons, it was a poor kick by his standards. Liam Wilkinson was good enough to grab it. Kicked it, smothered, then got it back again. Johnny Watson, they've got there somehow on half forward. He'll turn and go into the pocket. It made McConaughey wait for a long time. It hung in the air. If you're playing gridiron, you would be happy with that punt. And it goes over the boundary line, out of bounds, in front of the scoreboard, ball in.
Got away with a couple of skill errors, but see, that time they took the risk. They went inboard on that half back line, and they've got a forward 50.
It was aggressive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hartley wins the ruck contest down towards Philo. Picked off by Collins. He was tight roping the boundary line and eventually kicked it. Well, it was either out of bounds on the full or a mark to Staples. Either way, Staples will receive the free kick. He'll then wheel it inside forward 50 for the Magpies. Fly from behind Chester, couldn't quite take it. Spills to ground level. And we'll have
Henderson swung forward.
He's kind of been floating between forward and back for the majority of the day, I reckon. Bailey Henderson hasn't really found a position today. Knocked down McConaughey. Watson couldn't quite control it. Eventually he did well. Johnny Watson sold a little bit of candy as well. Not sure it was intentional, but he puts through the goal. And Johnny Watson's got his second. And something for the Magpies in this final quarter. And they just get themselves back into this contest a little bit. 88 playing 53. Plenty of time if they're good enough. 11 minutes gone, final quarter. Score sponsored Jason Westcott Builder, Live 25, local fresh footy. And in the MCDF not three-quarter time, Harcourt 147, lead Campbell's Creek 9.
And the closest game in the Bendigo Football League is South Bendigo by 14 points over Strathfield, say 10-7-67 over the Storm, 6-17-53. It's Gisborne by 122 points over Kangaroo Flat at Dow Park, and at Wade Street, Eagle Hawk to upset Golden Square by 40 points.
I'm not sure I'd call that one an upset, Jacko.
Well, it's a big margin, I reckon. That's
The margin's a bit surprising, yeah.
Now Sandhurst will try to win it from this ruck contest. It's spilled to the outer side wing, and somehow they've moved it forward, and they've in dangerous territory. Morris goes forward to Hood. Hood now of the Dragons. He'll go to the top of the goal square. They need to kill it, Castlemaine. Sutherland does. Well, in fact, he goes boundary side. Keep it in. Semmons, handball over the top. Magpies, Hickey, he's on the boundary line. And eventually we've got a whistle on play. So around 30 from goal in front of the clubroom swimming pool side. Sandhurst in attack will have another ball up. Stoppage. It's 88 playing 53. In fact, it's a ball in. Umpire Smetzer did well. Ruck work again. Hartley. Hurried kick out of the pack came from Semmons. Didn't really look, and he's kicked it straight to the opposition, and Brown And Brome goes long for Sandhurst, inside forward 50. They'll set themselves front of the pack. Good strong mark. It might even be Maxted that's no, it's Campbell has been relatively quiet, but showed a strong set of hands there, Metro.
Yeah, look, so he has been quiet. I think after 4 or 5 games at this level, you'll see him do that more regularly. He was doing that 10 times a week in the North Central, and there's some good defenders there. So once he gets used to the ball movement and what position to be in, I've seen him be frustrated not being on the end of a few. He's kicked truly there, and the beautiful kick must be his first for the day, because every player's getting to him on the ground, welcoming him to the team.
First goal as a Dragon.
First goal, yes, well done. But no, he will improve as the year goes on, I have no doubt. See, last year at Wedderburn, every time it went into the forward 50, they'd kick it to him. But here, there's a lot more options, and you've got to get used to the way the ball's moved. But it's all he has to do. If he can do that 4 or 5 times a week, he's ticked his box and he's done his job as a powerful forward.
Jet Daniels has kicked another goal for the Strathfield Say Storm against South Bendigo. It's now a 2-point ball game.
94 playing 53 here. Score sponsor Don Smallgoods is good. Live 25 local fresh footy.
In the North Central, you were just talking about that. Sea Lake Nandaly starting to get on top of the Calder United Lions. 10-13-73 to 6-9-45. Back here at the QEO, Air gets it for Castlemaine. He'll send it towards centre half forward. Rickson will chase after it, but it goes over the boundary line. Looking at other games in that league, Birchett Watcham, big leaders over Donald, 190 to 16, and Wedderburn 109 to St Arnaud 35.
What did you tell me about Strathstorm earlier?
Never give them up. Never.
So Johnny didn't give them up. I heard you call that the Bloods were home and hosed, Metro.
I was.
So we're obviously, geez, the sting's gone out of this one, and rightly so. It's been a magnificent effort, particularly from Sandhurst. Castlemaine copped a few injuries, but that's no excuse for the way that Sandhurst have played. They've certainly showed they're still top of their table, as emerging with a footy will be Hood. Hood spread it wide to Wilkinson. Wilkinson will come back now aggressively to Brome. He'll handball forward. They're looking to launch here through Stagg. Stagg now will turn and go. He'll go inside forward 50, looking for Campbell again. He's got the front position, but did well Sutherland at the back of the pack. Wilkinson did well also. An up and under kick. He'll spread it wide. It'll bounce. Oh, it's a cruel bounce. Good tap over the top. Causes a contest at ground level. 2-on-1. Castlemaine will do well here to kill the footy, and they do right on the boundary line. So a lot of players getting involved with that bit of play, and it will be a ball up.
Structurally, I think I like it better with Castlemaine. Wilkinson going back now. Hartley's coming up into the ruck, put some presence around the ball. Looks a lot better structurally.
So the Storm have kicked 6 goals in a row out at Harry Trott, now lead that game by 4 points. So I don't know who said the Bloods were home and hosed, but they're not right in that one. Interesting to keep an eye on what goes out there at Harry Trott. Back here, it's knocked down. Collins was in there for the Connick was in there, I should say, for the Dragons. We'll have another ball up. I haven't seen a lot of Seb Collins in this second half either.
They used him a lot in that first half, running through the ruck, so he might be having a spell.
It's his chance here. He's knocked
Did you hear
down.
that whack in the effect, Mike, then?
Yeah.
That was Connick that might have got one on the chin. But
Philo, good old-fashioned hip and shoulder on Connick.
So free kick, Hartley. Hartley wheels it in the direction of Greaves. Couldn't take the mark, and then he's just dived on top of the footy. He's going to be in trouble here, and he's gone, holding the ball. 2 Sandhurst players dived on top of him. He dragged the ball back in.
It was 2v1. If you let the ball out, they're probably away anyway, so it was worth a risk.
So it'll be a free kick here. It will be Mills. It was a double tackle. Free was happy to let Mills take the kick. Short pass finds Brom.
A lot of hands on heads and bending down, grabbing shorts at the moment.
Brom to Maxted. Maxted far wing, Pinniger. I've liked his game this afternoon. Pinniger on the left, far down the line. Mark taken, Keating. Will come back to Maxted. And Sandhurst have done this really well today. They've just
But, geez, again, Schmetzer, he kicked it forward, but it was a turnover, so it's now Castlemaine Hartley deep in his defensive zone. He'll go wide to Air to Brody Byrne in the opposite back pocket now. They worked it, not quite in a reverse horseshoe, but you get my drift. Brody Byrne, 50-metre kick to the wing. Johnny Watson, a little bit laconic, but he was good enough. He gives off a handball to Bolter. Bolter ignored the old 1-2. He kicked it about 2 metres to Rickson. Rickson will get the 1-2. Picked it up. Now he comes inboard. Aggressively, poor kick. Poor kick. It was just floated in the air. Turned it over. Brom, handball forward. Tardrew, kick forward. Wilkinson, half forward. Ball will spill. Morris will swoop on it, and he'll go goalward and kick a minor score. In fact, it might have hit the post, the little post, and it's out of bounds on the full.
No score when it hits the little post. It's a free kick for out of bounds on the full, so they'll bring it back into play to Brody Byrne. Byrne takes the mark, and then he'll kick down the line. Just no advantage on the kick there. He's put it out in front of Tanner Nally. Nally handballs over the top. Coughlin, free. Tarju, Connick, Schmetzer, back to Connick, to free. Handball. Now they'll send it inside forward 50, and well,
that's where all Castlemaine's numbers are, aren't they? They're all sitting behind the ball to stem the bleeding. I'm not sure what you learn from that. I'd like to see him up on the ball carrier, putting some pressure on through the middle of the ground.
It was Chester who chipped it to Henderson. Now they've worked their way into the middle of the ground, the Magpies. They'll send it with a kick, good pressure from Sandhurst, so it'll be a turnover. Although Keating couldn't quite control it. Ireland comes to lend a hand. Ball bouncing around, and eventually bounced to Ireland. Ireland to Tarju, who was in an island of space. He chips it backwards to Maxted. Maxted goes across to Keating.
Pretty happy with that. Have a look at the look on your face. I know it's radio, but you can imagine.
To Tarju. Tarju to Mills. And Mills to Connick. Connick to Ireland. It's really just what's happening. It's just chip to chip footy. I'd love to see how many uncontested marks they've taken.
They're doing this professional thing again.
This is the reverse horseshoe back in action again.
Get your own material, Cameron.
Out to Hood. This is easy to call. Hood goes with a short pass to Wilkinson. Wilkinson goes into the middle. Now he finds Keating. Now we're going to see some run from Sandhurst. Keating sends it inside forward 50. Fly come, couldn't quite take the mark. TC, Tom Campbell. Knocked to ground level. Ball out of bounds. There's TC down there watching on from the reserves. Tom Calvert from Sandhurst. He might be the best TC at the club now.
Horseshoe talk. Campbell. I wonder if they might have got a run in the Golden Mile today at the Bendigo Jockey Club.
Throw in. Ball in. Castlemaine's clearing kick out of the fence will be coming straight back. Keating, 60 from goal. Can go into the middle to free if he wants to. Spots him. In fact, he goes shorter than that to Tarju. Bolter trying to get a merge up to get there, but he looks like he's absolutely cooked. Paddy Bolter. Tarju's 55 out from goal. Doesn't back himself. Short pass. Schmetzer. Mark, free kick. Take your pick. I think he might have dropped the mark, but he was caught high, so he'll receive a free kick. And he'll go back and line up for goal number 3. He's kicked 2 behinds as well. And Metro, I reckon he is in contention today for our Bendigo City Framers Sponsors Award for Best on Ground. A $100 voucher towards Bendigo City Framers. And I'm sure a few of these Sandhurst boys have got jumpers from last year lying around. So $100 towards a framing would be a good result for someone in the Sandhurst Footy Club. He mightn't have one, Schmetzer, because he wasn't here last year. But he might have himself 3 goals and a win in his first game at the Dragons. Kicks it right on 50. It starts to the left and it doesn't come back, minus score.
Great sponsor, by the way, there. He definitely has. His second half has been fantastic, actually. In a new team, a new competition and level of football, he's done himself no harm, that's for sure.
96 plays 53.
Air played on from full back for Castlemaine and kicked it to the outer side, and Greaves just went over the boundary line.
That's a game plan to score. Sandhurst have 6 blokes outside the 50. Castlemaine have 6 in. So you're not going to hit a target. You need someone that can kick 50 metres. If you mark it on the top, handball receive, have a shot from 50.
It's going to be pretty tough picking that Bendigo City Framers Sponsored Award. How are we going to do it, Skipper? Cameron, you better give that some thought, because we are getting close to the end of this game, which we'll announce it very shortly.
Some final scores in the Golden Valley Footy League, round 2. Rochester by 7 points over Mooroopna, Echuca by 40 points over Euroa, and Mansfield by 17 points over Shep United.
Father Jackson Saunders at ground level as he watches on as Tardrew emerged from the pack and just slotted it through to the Barnard Street end. Not much of a celebration now because it's all over and there's some pretty tired bodies out there. So that is
11 different goal kickers.
11 different goal kickers. So that, how you're going to go, Cam? You've ran out of fingers now. 15-11-101 to Castlemaine, 8-5-53. Score sponsor, Aussie Disposals, Live 25, local fresh footy. And we're at the 24-minute mark, final turn.
Bit of class there. Forward 50 stoppage, back at the pack, into the space, on the move. One spot you want it. So they're the little things as Castlemaine you can look at and say, where do we need to tidy up? And that sort of stuff there isn't too hard to cut out. Just a bit of discipline and just a bit of work.
24 minutes gone, final quarter. Sandhurst have just flexed their muscle this afternoon. Running out of defence, trying to get away and taken in a strong tackle by Collins was Ryan Eyre. So Castlemaine work it forward. Comes to Hartley. Hartley sends it inside forward 50 and it's an easy intercept mark down in defence for Darcy Mills. And Sandhurst can go back to this chip possession game that they've done so well this afternoon. Short pass to Wright. Wright can come across the ground. And while Liam is standing in an island of space, if the ball can get to him.
You don't have to.
But it doesn't.
You don't have to explain jokes to me like I do to you, Cameron.
It doesn't. He's still standing in that island of space out there. He's screaming for it. They're pointing at him. Get it to him. Eventually they're going to come. No, he looked at him when I'm going to go into the middle of the ground. He's still.
To a 1-on-4.
It's 4 Castlemaine players.
The one's got it.
But the one takes the mark. Robinson handballs off to Free. Free. He's got free space. He'll wheel it up to centre half forward. Smetzer takes the mark. He wheels onto the right. Going for number 4. Instead he passes it off and it almost came off. Castlemaine will clear it out of defence there. The clearing kick will come from Tyson Hickey.
And he looks for John Watson, who did well. He was infringed against by Hood. And John Watson, he's on and off day. He's been serviceable. By hand gives it to Sutherland. Magpies will kick it to half forward now. Poor kick. Sutherland just did not look then, Mitro, and kicked it straight to the opposition.
That's it. Lower the eyes, come through the middle, present as an option. That's just blazing away, playing into the Dragons' hands.
And they'll move it across half forward now. And a kick, short pass. It was pretty good by Pinninger. He went then to Robinson. Robinson short and found Collins, the big ruckman. Too far out to score. Might have been touched off the boots as it goes inside forward 50. Staggers front and centre. Can he collect it? He can't. He was met heavily from front on. And they all tie up the footy.
So we see the difference in ball movement there. Sandhurst get the turnover. 2 short 20-metre kicks. You've got to hit the target, but then they get it inside 50.
Ball up. Collins wins the tap for Sandhurst. They're looking to build another goal here. They'll share it around on forward 50. Ends up with Pinninger. Goes long and high towards the goal. Right on the goal line. And it's a mark. It's a Dragons mark. And it might be your man Schmitzer, I reckon. No. Campbell. Which one am I going with?
Campbell.
Well, they both had hands on it, so it was a matter who got up and took the ball.
Both tall, dark, handsome young men. It's hard to tell.
He's only about half a metre out, but he's right on the point line, if that made sense. So he's going to have to go around the corner. And easy as you like. They kick him nowadays like that pretty simply as he just popped it through. So Sandhurst, they're getting some icing on the cake here. They extend the lead. They are now 17-11, 100 and in fact, I'm not sure if that score's right. It's saying 16-12, 108. Was that a point, was it?
The goal.
As you contemplate that, right from the pocket for South Bendigo, and the Bloods now lead by 1 point in thriller against Strathfield Saints 16 minutes gone in the last term.
So, score sponsor Don Smallgood is Don is Good. Live 25 local fresh footy. I'm not 100% convinced that score's right, but it's 108-53 if you believe that at the moment. 27.5 minutes gone, final turn.
Well, let's hope they've got the score right at Harry Trott, because a 1 point ball game with 16 minutes gone in that final quarter. We'll keep a close eye on that one. Philo emerges with the footy here at the QEO. Handball to Watson. Watson goes further forward. It's taken there by Will Marks.
I have been keeping score all day if you have a look at my night's little book, and it just doesn't compute to me at the moment, but I might be tired like everybody else, Mitro.
No, I'm backing you all the way here.
Throw in, 60 out from goal, 28 minutes gone, final quarter. Taken away by the Magpies, couldn't quite control it there. It was Staples, who was good in the first half, but haven't called his name too many times in the second half. That'll be full time. Sorry, Jackson, didn't quite catch that down there.
It's the Strathfield Stay Storm now by 2 points over South Bendigo.
So we'll be following the last few minutes out there from Harry Trott, 2-point game, but the full-time siren has sounded here in what was a rather disappointing second half. It was a good competitive first half, but Sandhurst flexed their muscles. 16-12, 108 to Castlemaine, 8-5, 53. Metro, you were looking after Sandhurst better players today, so run us through who you think is in contention for that Best on Ground Bendigo City Framers Sponsors Award, and who were some of their best players.
As consistency goes over the whole day, I thought Wilkinson through the middle just continued to work hard, uses the ball really well, and he applies defensive pressure. Smetzer definitely second half come to prominence. He was the one in the forward half of the ground that really took ownership, and it was just through work rate and movement. He didn't really stop running too much, and as we've seen through him cramping, that's a good indication of either you're either not fit or you just worked really hard, and I think it was more about his movement. Lockie Tarju's first quarter was uncharacteristically quiet, and then he just does a lot of unnoticed stuff. So if you actually go back through his stat sheet, he would have picked up over 30 touches today. He orchestrates, he picks right decisions, makes great execution as well. And the halfback didn't have to do too much in the second half, did they? But when the pressure was on and both teams were running on top of the ground, I thought Ireland and his partner in crime down there, looking at the sheet right in front of me here, was, I should know the young fella from Swan Hill. He played back flank, centre half back as well. Wright, of course, Wright.
Lockie Wright.
Played excellent in the grand final last year. So he's actually a true backman. They tried him as a forward, but he's played all his footy as a backman. And I thought those two boys down there were really good. And even someone like Collins that comes in, I think he competed really hard. He gave a free away in that last quarter over the shoulder, but his intent and aggression at the contest is something that I think that they were really encouraged, because we could see what Hosking did for the club, and they need someone to show a bit of that body around there too. So yeah, there's a few there, but I'm leaning towards...
well, don't give it away just yet, Metro, because I'm going to give you 2 minutes to pick your winner, and I'm going to put all the pressure on you in your first game up here in the box to give us the winner, while Johnny runs us through some Castlemaine best players.
I thought Bailey Henderson was exceptional for Castlemaine. He's carrying an injury on his hand, fought really hard. Liam Wilkinson, I thought, was strong, particularly early for Castlemaine, and Michael Hartley battled hard, did a lot of ruck work, and I really like his competitive nature. John Watson, look, he was good at times. He had his moments. He kicked 2 goals, one in the second and one in the fourth. And also Matthew Philo, he had his moments as well. He kicked 2. They were both in the third term back-to-back. And I thought Ryan Eyre also had his moments. Overall, from Castlemaine, they had a couple of injuries without making excuses. I think that they battled hard in tough conditions, but Sandhurst were just a class above, and we'll have to just go back to the drawing board.
And just a good appreciation from both sides out here, Castlemaine and Sandhurst, both lining up for umpire Jeff Williamson in game number 532. We spoke to Jeff in our pre-game coverage. He has broken the record for the most games umpired in senior football at Bendigo level, so a very terrific achievement to him. Jackson Saunders down on the ground level. You've been down at ground level. What was your summarisation of the game?
It's been a convincing win to Sandhurst. Just before that, I can see we're about to receive an update. A short time ago, it was South Bendigo by 2 points over Strathfield. So I can see on our Facebook footy chat that another update is imminent. But look, overall, to answer your question, Cameron, It was tough conditions, 28 or 29 degrees all afternoon, but Sandhurst just looked too good. They played as a team and with great unity all afternoon.
Jackson Saunders, thank you very much for your efforts down there on the boundary line today. It was added a little bit to our comments, and you'll be back with us next week.
I will be looking forward to calling next weekend, and in fact it's Easter next weekend, isn't it? So I'll be out of action, but the week after I'll be there for Anzac Day, so delighted to be part of it again.
So looking forward to next week here. Wayne Mitrovic, we were giving it to you. Who are we picking for our Sponsors Award for the best on ground? Thanks to Bendigo City Framers.
Am I going to just build into it, or I'm just going to hit it on the head and
hit
get
it up
there straight away? All right, straight away. Number 18, Matthew Wilkinson is going to be my recipient of the best player on the ground today.
Well, that's who I would have gone to, so I reckon that's a terrific decision.
Very close behind was Smetzer, Hugh, the new player, but the reason that separated him, he did really well in the second half as a forward when Sandhurst were on top. Where Wilkinson, when the game was there to be won, it was willing, his work rate, his ball use all day, I thought was excellent. It was really even performance, actually. There's no one standout above all others, but that's the way I've gone today.
So Bode Stevens is kicked behind for Strath, and it's a 1-point game late in the last quarter to South Bendigo. But that wraps things up for us here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval and for round 1 of the Bendigo Footy League. Wayne, thank you very much for joining us here, Wayne Mitrovic, and we're looking forward to having you back on board in multiple games throughout the season.
Pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Added terrific comments to the game. It has been a terrific game for Sandhurst. Castlemaine are a little bit disappointing, 16-12, 108 to 8-5, 53. Other winners in Bendigo footy. We're still waiting a full-time score, but South Bendigo currently leads Strathfield Say by 1 point deep into that final quarter. Kangaroo Flat have gone down 5-9-39 to Gisborne, 25-18, 168. Eagle Hawk, these are progressive scores as well, 17-5, 107 to Golden Square, 7-6, 48. So it'll be a big win to the Borough and a big win to Gisborne. Waiting that full-time score between Strathfield Say and South Bendigo. 1 point in that game at the moment, currently to the Bloods. But that wraps us up here for round 1 from the QEO. Thanks to John Hunter pushing the buttons behind us here and calling this game this afternoon. Of course, we wouldn't be able to go to air without the efforts of Ray Pinner as well. So thanks to Ray Pinner for all his technical work, and Glenn Gordon back in the studio. Myself, John Hunter, Wayne Mitrovic, Jackson Saunders, and in the background there, Norm Jenkin providing us with some scores from around the grounds in the MCD FNL as well. So it's been a terrific day of footy here. If you're a Castlemaine, if you're a Sandhurst supporter, 108 playing 53. We'll just roll through the scores in Bendigo footy again. The Bloods leading Strathfield Say leading the Storm by 1 point, and they've just kicked another goal to go 7 points up, 12-8-80. So it's looking likely that South Bendigo will run out victors there. Big winners to Gisborne, big winners to Eagle Hawk over Golden Square, and here at the QEO it was Sandhurst 108 to 53. Thank you to our team calling and all production, today's local footy sponsors as well. Coming up, it's a great night of fresh.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Kaiser leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas, they design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Kaiser. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger and healthier life. Kaiser, physiotherapy, rehabilitation, and strength training, building strength with precision.
He goes in the Fergus Green direction. He used his body, but he dropped the mark, did Fergus. Handball's back to Eureka. Eureka snaps the first goal in the grand final. Ball up. Blake knocks it down. Bernacki emerges with it. He gets space. He gets the goals open. Up Brett Bernacki.
Another turnover now. Handball forward, Connick. He gives it to Free. Runs to 50 and slots it. Fergus Green will go long. There's 2 Sandhurst players and 2 Dogs. It's 30 still out. Curno's got the footy. Over the top to Joel. There around, getting involved with the footy was Lynch. Inside forward 50 now for the Dogs. Running through was Merritts. And goal.
Back in the middle. One down. Tarju will get the clearance. He'll accelerate away. He has a bounce. He then rolls inside forward 50 for the instant reply. Lachlan Tarju. Handball out. Maxted's kick smothered. Knock forward for the Dogs. Going through to with Dennehy. Dennehy gave it to Lakey. Lakey bends the ball back around. It's up forward by Dennehy. Can he have a 5-minute burst like he did last week? It's taken by the Dogs. It's Matt Merritt. It's the goal. To the bounce. He'll then send it inside forward 50. Big moment for this one. Away inside forward 50 they go. Eureka at the front of the pack. They knock it forward, the Dragons. It'll come to Green. Green will fire at Goldwoods, and Fergus Green kicks the goal. But
Manor wing, swimming pool side, big pack of players. The Dragons win the flag.